Stream Elements said, KJ_Freedom is now live. Streaming StarCraft 2, FSL Season 6, Day 24 Code S, B, A and 2v2.
guys. We're going to talk to the FSL people here. Who's playing?
Hello, my name is Little Reaper, and I play Protoss, and I've got a Platinum 1.
Nice.
Hey, I'm Chian Pone. I play Protoss, and I'm Gold 3. Well, I've achieved Gold 3.
Nice.
Hey, what's up?
Tell me your name, game name, your ranking, what race you play.
I'm Dominic. I'm Deepu. I play everything, and I'm Plat 1, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Hello, I'm Ethan. I go by ET. I play Terran. I'm like Silver 2.
Nice.
Menace, Zerg, Diamond 1.
All right.
Hyper Turtle, Platinum Random.
Nice. Tell me your game name, your race, and what level are you?
War Bunnies. I'm a Protoss and low diamond.
Nice.
I am Fenrir. I am a Silver 1 player. I don't know my MMR. I'm a Terran.
Nice. So tell me your name.
Instability.
And what race you play in your ranking.
I'm in Diamond 2 with Protoss, but tonight I'll probably be playing Zerg.
Beautiful.
Hey, I'm Neutrophil. I play random and I'm high diamond.
Nice. And
I'm Chian Pone.
oh yeah, we saw you already. There you
Yeah.
go. And this is ET. He's gonna be casting.
Howdy.
All right. And that guy is Caliber. He'll be playing later too. And that's our FSL group. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I'm joined here by Kwame Timpo. And we're going to have an exciting match, and one you've not seen before, never before seen on Cheesadelphia's stage. A little bit of a 4v4 action. You're just introduced to the players a little bit there. It's going to be on Concord Alley, and I think they've got some spicy things cooked up for us, Timpo.
Yeah, you were telling me a little bit of some trash talking.
Yeah,
Whoa.
They don't play nice.
No,
they don't play nice.
These kids these days, I tell you.
Yep, they are just uncouth, unmannered. It's disgusting, really.
But it's beautiful at the same time. Yeah?
Absolutely beautiful.
That competitive
yes.
spirit, because sometimes you just gotta let it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. So it should be a fun time. Just a little show match to kind of show more about the FSL. We do, of course, it takes place every Wednesday and Friday. And seasons run a few months at a time because obviously there's a lot of people interested in playing. So there's a lot of matches to do.
Yeah.
Tons of excitement. Some great storylines as well.
I bet
This
you're
league,
very familiar with them, too.
you can start a season with nothing, and then you're diamond by the end of it, right? Like, there's so much improvement that can be done at this level and so many months to do it over. But that said, we're going to be hopping into game here as we are loading into the map. It's going to be Concord LE as we are here in the bottom left-hand side of the map. We've got our pink Terran player from Psystorm's community team. It is Neutrophil. And his ally, one of the many, the dark gray Zerg player, she is Instability. Ooh. Another teammate, the dark green Protoss player, he is Fenrir from Redstone. And rounding it out, we have the light green Protoss player trying to confuse us. We have War Bunnies from Minnesota Barcraft.
Hey. So that's going to be Team ET, okay? And on Team Tempo in the top right, all right, we got here on the right-hand side, give it up for the orange Terran player, ETTT. T to the fourth power. And a little bit above on the red, rocking the red trunks, it is the Terran player, Hyper Turtle, with that Minnesota Barcraft as well. And in the north-hand side, it is our pink Protoss player, D-Poo. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
All right, D-Poo it is. And to round out the most amazing team, obviously, that's playing Team Tempo, it is our yellow Protoss player, Dark Menace.
Yeah, so a lot of players to keep track of. We're going to do team colors to make it a little bit easier on ourselves, I think.
All right. We'll see.
The red versus the blue. That works for me.
All right.
So I can give you a little bit of backstory on some of these players. We have our team captains on each team, Neutrophil and Dark Menace. They're actually KJ's teenage sons.
Yep.
So some pretty talented kids there. Usually vying for that top spot in the Code S bracket, the diamond bracket of
nice.
the FSL. The only competitor that really gives them a run for their money so far is actually none other than Instability.
I saw her playing yesterday.
Yeah.
She did pretty well, right?
She did decently. I mean, almost. Just needed to win, I think was the big difference there, the key difference. But my little sister, she's climbing up in those ranks as well. A strong Protoss player usually, but playing a little bit of Zerg. Because I think the players are planning on being a little bit aggressive.
Okay.
And she doesn't know how to do that as Protoss.
Oh, well,
hop into the Zerg
I'm sure
trunks.
there's a lot of people here that can help her with that 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. It is NA StarCraft after all, so I'm sure there's help galore. DPU and ET, a couple friends as well, and then we made mention of Hyper Turtle and War Bunnies being both in the same Minnesota Barcraft clan. They're good friends as well, and so of course leaped at the chance to be on opposite teams so they could annihilate each other as best they can.
Well, things are getting a little bit crazy already here, ET, as we have a Ghost Rush with Cloak.
Oh, yes, we've actually seen this in the 2v2 division. Dark Menace and Neutrophil played as a team there, and one of their favorite builds was doing a nuke rush. Double nuke, typically,
Oh
out
my
of
god,
Neutrophil.
yeah. Second Ghost Academy, too. Yeah, so it is going to be double nukes coming out. We got a nice early Baneling Nest as well, right? So a lot of aggression coming here. I'm assuming that cannon is for defense, so, right? You get your teammates to go out on the battlefield, get some craziness done, but then you have a bit of defense at home in case, of course, there's some shenanigans on the other side.
Yeah, and these players, obviously, they range from silver all the way up to diamonds.
Yep.
So there's a lot of MMR difference here. So it's one of the beautiful things, though. We do have individual leagues for each level, but actually, we just saw
I think that was a
Phoenix hallucination. I think barely getting the scout on those ghosts. Of course, at this level, we do have to have a little asterisk of seen, but
does
maybe
it
not
mean that
noticed.
you saw it? Exactly, right?
As the Ghost Academies were a little bit in the back, and the ghost doesn't remain there on the map for you to look back in 5 minutes when you remember you scouted and
Exactly.
see. So we'll see if they're aware. Of course, seeing that Neutrophil is playing as Terran, obviously he has a main race Protoss. That may already be a little bit of a tip-off, as he does love this build.
Okay.
We actually have Dark Shrine on the way.
I saw the Dark Shrine on the way
well.
too, right? Nuke in production. There's a lot going on right now, and that's the beauty of a 4v4, right? Oh,
yeah.
Dark Shrine, Blink. We got the Ghost on the right side flying in soon. So the Cloak is going to be done by the time they get there. So I'm just rubbing my hands together right now to see how they deal with the Cloaked Ghost dropping into their base.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see indeed. One nuke already finished up, another one on the way. And, you know, it's hard to spot the nukes even at the top level sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many mineral lines I've lost?
The little red dot, of course, of doom. So we'll see how they manage to react to this. We see a lot of air units on the way, of course. That's sort of the flavor of 4v4.
Yep, here we
mass
go.
air. As the ghosts do
Nuclear
go in,
launch
setting them
detected.
on hold fire so they don't accidentally shoot anyone in advance. And he sees a juicy mineral line there.
All right, there's nuke number 1, ET. Nuke number 2 going over on the east side of the map. That's like where we are, like Philly, right? We got to be careful here. We might,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, gotta be careful.
Spotted.
Oh, big nuke. Does manage to get mostly out of there. A few SCVs going down, but nothing too
Oh,
bad.
no! And they spotted one of them, and of course the second one didn't realize that there was
Cyanos said, "What's up,
They're
FSL?"
gonna be gone.
Very nice indeed.
Erased. Ouch. That hurts. You felt that one too, right?
Yeah, that hit me in my soul. Of course, they do have Blink Dark Templar tech coming up, maybe looking to get a little bit of counter-aggression done, and those Dark Templar, there's a lot
That's a
of
lot
them
of DTs, wow.
on the opponent's side of the map. Instability, she's sort of aware of what's going on, but there's no detection. However, there are banelings. Could manually detonate, however, that's a little bit
That's
much
risky,
to ask,
right?
potentially. As a whole base going down here, and Blink will be able to get him out of there pretty much for free. Of course, one ghost still in there, dropping another nuke. Not as many SCVs here. Basically just bullying Hyper Turtle at this point. Already took out his med mineral line.
He's going to lose the other ones too.
And boom.
Boom, baby.
Does go down. Yeah, I mean,
To 28.
Hyper Turtle.
Hyper Turtle is probably hyper pissed off right now.
Yeah, no
Hyper
kidding.
angry.
Goodness gracious. As they are moving across the map now, that is a significant force out of blue team. Definitely could still get a lot done here. Steepu dropping some additional pylons for Warpins, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the Terrans coming out as well. Void Rays coming out for Team Red, though.
I saw the Void Ray speed in production as well, and I also believe I saw Aspire in production. So we'll see if, you know, losing that base will still allow. Oh, no, that was actually the other player, so.
Yeah, I think Instability has Aspire, but has lost a lot of Overlords that were out on the map, so have been hyper supply.
Sarah, what have you done?
Kerrigan, the die is cast. This is the last day. Your swarm darkens the sky of any planet.
Forget Minsk. Forget all of it.
When we are done here, I will return to my people and accept their judgment.
Command, we've found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base.
I made my peace long ago.
Consider it done. For ire. Indeed.
Alright, what's up guys? FSL is live once again. FSL is live. So what do we have? We have 5 matches tonight. Let me show you guys the matches. Man, we got 2 2v2s. And we got 1 Code S, of course. We got 1 Code A and then 1 Code B. So we're doing all of them. Every single one. We're gonna start with whoever's ready first. And it looks like Code A is ready. Little Reaper versus Gray. So let's bring him in right now. Little Reaper versus Gray. This is a big match for them. Alright. Joining me is Gray and Little Reaper. How you guys doing? What's up, guys? Gray, how you doing? You muted, Gray? Gray? Little Reaper.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Cool. Gray, how you feeling?
Better now, thank you. I apologize for me being absent the last time.
It's okay, we're making it up.
I got hospitalized.
Are you feeling better for some SC2 now?
Yeah, I'm excited to play. I was able to practice a little yesterday.
Oh, cool. And you're facing a Protoss here. Do you know anything about Little Reaper? Did you study stuff? Are you ready? I
watched some of Little Reaper's games, and I tried asking Nooblord, since Nooblord already played with Little Reaper. Yeah.
Little Reaper, how are you feeling? I can't hear you.
Good.
Good?
Good.
How about this matchup with Gray? You feel confident? Do you feel okay? What do you feel like?
I feel okay.
You feel okay. Alright. Did you guys do your vetoes already? You guys are all set?
For the veto, I already banned one. I already banned one.
Alright. I see. Okay. You guys need to get going. Waiting for Gray to veto a map, and then it's right there. We can see the progress as you guys do that. So go ahead and get that going, so that way I can set up the lobby. Then you guys can see that live as they veto. So Gray's turn to veto, and then oh yeah, veto's already done. So it's waiting for Gray to veto a map. Let me refresh. Are you stuck? Is it okay? Gray?
Oh, let me try refreshing.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I can see now. So.
All right. So you guys will veto and pick maps live on screen now.
Okay.
While you guys do that. And there you go. The last veto is Moon Dance. Waiting for Gray to select a map. And then we'll be all set. I can get that first one going. Alright, there you go. We got our selections. Good luck, guys. We're gonna get back to you guys after this is done, okay? So good luck, good luck, good luck. I'll get it set up. Alright, so we got the players all warmed up and ready to go, I think. Game 1 is on Cosmic Sapphire. That's a big map. That's not a bad map to start with. And of course we're gonna use the Observer Plus map mod. That way we can see lots of stuff happening. You know, what stuff is being built, those kind of things, right? So let's see. What do you guys think? Who do you think is gonna win this match? What do you guys think the score is gonna be? That's the real question. Gray's pretty good macro guy, but does he know how to play Little Reaper? We'll see. Little Reaper will catch you off guard if you don't watch it. Okay, they are ready, boys and girls. Okay, we're loading up the game, guys.
You're watching FSL Season 6.
Alright, in the top left, the Zerg player.
Great.
And on the bottom right, playing Protoss.
Little Reaper.
Expansion. Well, this is pretty standard for Protoss, right? They build a wall down there so they can expand. We'll see what Gray does. He's not doing an early pull. He should be doing a hatch first. And a gateway for Little Reaper and the scout, pretty standard. And then there's the hatchery. Alright, we're good. There's the gas. And Little Reaper's gonna scout and see that there's no shenanigans right now. So yeah, look, there's the pool. He sees it just like that. So Little Reaper should either expand or get the cyber. I think he's gonna get the cyber first. What's he doing? Yeah, he got the cyber first. He's got a wall here. The hole is right here on this side. And he's gonna get his Nexus up. There it is. And now he is just kind of, yeah, he's gonna patrol to see when Gray decides to expand. So a very good move here. Meanwhile, Gray gonna scout that. Little Reaper needs his next pylon, and it's not there yet. Yeah, he's a little late there on his next pylon. There it is. But he does, yeah, he supply block. He screwed that up, but that's okay. There's no rush coming from Zerg right now. In fact, Zerg's gonna expand. Double gas for Little Reaper. So what are we gonna see, guys? Because Little Reaper will be the one dictating this game. Yeah, Little Reaper spotted the expansion. He knows. And he needs to get out of here. But he's gonna lose that probe, unfortunately. There's the Adept. Just to close the wall. Speed for the Zerg. Takes off 2 drones off of the gas. Pretty standard stuff here. Another gateway for Mr. Little Reaper here. So this is the macro play for Gray. He just kind of goes in there and not really going more than that. Okay, so there's gonna be a robo and another gateway. The Lings are gonna look around for a cheese or a hidden pylon or something. I think that's what he's doing. He's gonna see 2 gateways, so he knows aggression could be coming. So there's 4 gateways and a robo right now. What is Gray doing? Just droning up. Droning. Gray saw both the gateways, so... Oh no. There's an Overlord here. He's not gonna see the robo. Is he gonna see the robo? No, he doesn't see the robo. So... we're gonna see aggression here, most definitely, from Little Reaper. Gray does not see...
Upgrade done.
Yeah, he does not see... He sees another gateway there. And will he be ready? He is making a Roach Warren and... the Evo, spreading creep. He looks like he wants to attack, but Little Reaper's the one attacking actually, so... this will be very interesting. He's got a lot of gas. Little Reaper has a lot of gas. It's just annoying him with his stalker. And then he's gonna pick up that Immortal. Yeah, he's just gonna go for it. This is a modified build, but I'm afraid he's taking too long. It's 5 minutes already. And he needs to get going. Like, he needs to get going like now. He's taking way too long on this. If he's gonna attack Gray, because Gray has 3 bases all set up. But Gray keeps making links, so that's the good news for Gray. More gateways here for Little Reaper, because he realized he has so much gas. I think his build is really not correct. But he is warping in. He's closing his choke, which is huge. Lots of gateways coming. Is he going to be supply blocked? Not anytime soon. 20. Okay, here's the big attack. Gray is constantly pumping roaches, so he knows what is up. Well, he cancels 2 of the gateways because I think he's figuring he's over anyway. So here it is. Here's the big attack. He just needs to do a lot of... he needs to kill him basically. There's a lot of roaches though too. So Gray doesn't see it quite yet. Gray is supply blocked. No, he's making a lot of... Here it is. Can't lose this prism though. Oh, the prism is being targeted, and that was a big mistake. And he needs to get the prism out again. He just messed that up. I think this is GG. he messed that up. There's no, he needs to recall, but he's so far behind. I'm gonna kill the queens. He's 15 workers behind with no third base. Losing that prism was a big problem. And he actually doesn't even remake the prism, so... he needs to remake the prism. That's a big problem for him. He's adding more gateways, but he has so much money. This is really not good for him. There's a big attack here, but he doesn't have a shield battery either. He's making a prism just now, but it's very late. So this is it for Little Reaper. He needs to get a shield battery if he has any hope here, but I don't think so. Not with all these upgrades. So he's GG'd, that's for sure. GG for Gray. Alright, well, game 2 is coming up, and it'll be on Inside and Out. Alright, we're loading up the map now. It's not looking good for Little Reaper. I mean, he had his build doesn't look right. He had too much gas on that one. He didn't have charge. Everything looked wrong on that one. So and it's hot in this office. I gotta turn on the fan. Alright, we're gonna load up for the next map here. This is Inside and Out.
You're watching FSL Season 6.
In the top right, Dessert player. And the bottom left,
Little Reaper.
oh, he's gonna cheese him. Okay, 12 bull is incoming, boys and girls. Now, Little Reaper needs to spot this. What he has to do is scout now with the, yeah, he's checking the wall, and then he's gonna scout. There you go. So, this is a 12 pool. So the important thing is he spots it, he closes it with gateways and cyber, and chronos a zealot. So that's the sequence of events that he has to do. So he's got to do that right. Here it is. Let's see his reaction, guys. He has to be ready. He doesn't see the hatchery, so he knows there's a cheese. So he should go. Okay, he is gonna. Yeah, he's working on the wall now. Here's the pool. There's the other hatchery. So it's a 12 pool. Lord Reaper just needs to make the cyber core, and he does. Actually, he just closes it, which is totally fine. He's safer that way, but he needs to make a zealot though, and get the gas. So he's getting too preoccupied with this, but he needs the gas. So, but luckily for him, there's only, oh no, there's a lot of lings here. He's making the zealot, but it's going inside, not outside. And he doesn't even have his pylon. He's supply blocked. Oh, this is terrible. Like he sends the zealot here, but it's like pointless. He needs another pylon. He is supply blocked. Everything is wrong in this build. And he finally makes that, but he's gonna lose the cyber core. This he could heal it though if he's lucky. He does chrono it out, so it's gonna presumably get out there. Okay, there you go. He can still close this. But this is a lot of damage. He just gotta relax here. Okay, it's a good that he's riding up this wall. But there's an adept out. He's gonna lose that. He's gonna pull his workers. This is really just a micro battle here for him. And he's gonna clean up. Worker wise, he's even. So it's not terrible. And Gray behind this didn't really drone up, so Little Reaper handled this terribly, but he's still okay. Like he did handle it so badly. But and he's making a zealot, which is kinda useless right now. He was supply blocked, he didn't get gas, and he sent the zealot in the back of the wall, which is, you know, all bad. But I suppose if the zealot got up front, he would have gotten killed, but he would have bought time, right? But losing the cyber core was a big problem for him. If I was him, I'd cancel this zealot now, but he is gonna let it finish. And he makes an adept, which, oh, a stalker. He wants to get rid of that. So now a 5 worker lead for Gray. Little Reaper's getting Twilight. I think he's gonna go do this charge build here. Is there a hole here? Is there a hole here? I'm not sure. Where's his units? Lots of links here for Gray. He's getting ahead now by... Can he kill that? It's not gonna die. I think it's like... Yeah, he needs like 2 more shots on it. And the Zealot is here. Where's the Adept? I'm confused. Where's that Adept? I thought he had an Adept. Did it die? I think it did die. He had an Adept that died, I guess. He's getting charged and he's getting a DT Shrine. Okay, which is good. However... he probably needs a Robo. Or he's just gonna walk the DT over. He's 31 workers down. He's gonna try to open it up, but I wouldn't do that. Oh man. Look at this. Let's see if he's paying attention. There's a hole here. This is the worst wall in history. This is just a bad... And he sees the DT Shrine. I mean, this is just a terrible game for Little Reaper. I mean, there's just no ways about it. He's much better than this, but he always seems to play. This season, he's just been playing pretty bad. He is gonna go in the corner here, but he has no more war pins. think he'll clean up the one Ling, but he loses so many workers. Well, 8 workers is not terrible. But the DT Shrine is revealed if Gray is paying attention. He doesn't seem to be paying attention, so... He has DT, but he's warping in Stalkers for some reason. He needs to send DTs now. Why is he killing his pylons? I'm confused. But he needs to send DTs now. He made this DT for a reason, and he's not using it. If he had sent 3 DTs right now, on each base, he would have had a lot of damage. But he's just doing it just now. He's very late on it. He did fix his saturation, so... He has... These DTs have to be split and do a ton of damage, basically. And he needs to get a 3rd base for him to come back, because Gray is just macroing right now. The DTs will kill a few workers, but he needs to send more. Okay, he's gonna split these up, I'm sure of it, but he needs to send in more DTs. He has the money, but he's not doing it. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Okay, so there's the drone kills, which is what we're saying, right? Immediately, lots of workers killed. So if he just sends more, he'd be in great shape. This is a lot of workers killed. 19 workers killed. I mean, he is back in the game if he just kind of makes more stuff. He can't be microing too much. He finally gets cleaned up here after 19. But there's 4 hatcheries, so Little Reaper should have expanded during that time. Look at how much money he has. He has so much money he didn't expand, so he's just doing it now. He chose to micro the DTs. I mean, it was good because he killed 19 workers. He's back in the game, kind of. But he has so much money here, he needs more gateways and he needs to do charge. Because there's a ton of roaches. I don't know, this is a lot of roaches. And he's moving with all the DT, the observer together. Okay, so he's adding that. I think he's gonna need a robo. There's the robo. But I would send another pair of DTs somewhere just to see. And do some charge. He needs to be warping in too. He's not warping in right now. But he is adding a lot of gateways. But this is a lot of roaches, so it's a little scary. Little Reaper still has a lot of money he needs to spend. He is supply blocked again. So probably needs to make just make some a lot of pylons, I think, at this point. He's gonna see that expansion. It was probably he's supply blocked, so it's kind of pointless for him to have all these gateways when he can't warp in. So, huge mistake here. But the Nexus finishing up is supply.
ETPWN Home TV said,
he realizes.
Sorry, I'm late, laughing face.
Okay, so we have ET. He's gonna help me cast, maybe. I think. I think he is casting later, so that's good. So in this game, Little Reaper came back a little bit, but he's gonna need quite a bit more. Quite a bit more to get back into this. And yeah, so ET can join me on the next one. I think you're just watching it now from the stream at this point. So
ETPWN Home TV said, yep.
Yep, so there you go. There's a lot of roaches here, but you know, if Little Reaper kind of gets going, he's getting immortals. If he gets going here and gets Disruptor, but he needs to send some charge slots on one side or the other, right? Right now, that's not what's happening. Gray's just kind of powering up, and he is getting his upgrades. So I'm not quite sure. If Gray takes a bad fight, that's really what could kill him. If he takes a bad fight. And then if the Disruptor hits him, oh man, Disruptor gets, oh, he's making Colossus, which is not advisable against roaches. He should have made Disruptors and that, but he's gonna go Colossus. I suppose if you have so many of them, that's fine. But 1 or 2 is not gonna make a difference. I think you would need like 3 or 4. But at least he has his base. He spent his money now. Gray He's looking to attack. He's at 188 supply. So let's see where he fights. He's looking to fight right now. We will see what happens here. I mean, these are charge slots. He's got the, he's getting an observer, and he's bringing down the Colossus. Okay, here's the big fight. Let's see what happens here. There's a big fight. These are Archons. These are good force fields, actually. And he needs to warp in. He's moving everything back. Okay, he gets the force field. He gets into the shield battery range, so he should. Actually, you know what? Because he has stalkers. I mean, Hydras. That works well. That works well. The Colossus works well against Hydras. It's a very good fight for Little Reaper here. He just can't lose his Colossus. He needs to move it back. He does not move it back. But, you know, it's a decent fight for him. It's just Gray is maxed out. So, Little Reaper needs to go back home and just chill for a little bit here. Regroup. His army is vulnerable here. Uh-oh. I would not fight here if I was you. You don't have the power. Why are you going out here? You don't have the power. You don't have... Yeah, this is a good choke to fight in. Or fight with the shield batteries. Okay. DT... Oh, DT's a great idea, actually. Here it is. He has no detection. And if he does pops the overcharge, which he doesn't do right now... He's not popping the... Okay, he has a lot of DTs here. That should make quick work. He does pop the overcharge now, but... So they'll lose a lot of workers. Gray has expansions everywhere, so... Little Reaper has a lot of DTs, which... are really not that good, of course, once they get detected. So he has a prism. I think what's his plan here? Why did he move that? Okay. Oh, he's replenishing his base. But yeah, it's a bit tough. He needs to kill the bases. There's spores everywhere, so DTs are not really a thing now. I think you just make Archons, which is what he's doing. But he needs disruptors or more Colossus. But disruptors are better because these are depths. But he is not making any more disruptors. He just kind of stopped. He's gonna try to clear creep. But there's all these bases everywhere. So he still has not made anything out of this disruptor, this robo facility. So it's just... There's also lurkers now, so this is GG, guys. I'll just tell you right now. There's just nothing he can do now. He took too long, and he is trying to expand, but I don't think Gray's gonna let him expand. Let's see if Little Reaper even cancels this on time. No, he's not gonna cancel it because he wants to fight. He's gonna lose this base. It's about to die. Maybe. And Gray's gonna attack on the left side. Here's the big attack that will end the game right here. Little Reaper is oblivious to it, and he's not going to be able to fight. He has no AoE, so yeah, you can't stop this army. No AoE. He just now fight, but you know, his army is really not good against this. So this will end the game for Little Reaper. He needs disruptors to kill, but he doesn't have disruptors. And he's stuck up here. And that's it. The final hurrah. Does he even have detection? I don't even think he has detection. Yeah, he's dead. Well, that'll do it, guys. Little Reaper will be out of the playoffs. He's just not had a good season this season. I mean, he's just kind of underplayed than normal. He did do well in ladder. When he does play, he's really good, but when he doesn't play, he's just way off, as you can see. Yeah, he's stuck on 2 base versus the Zerg. Protoss. Zerg has all the bases, so you need disruptors for this. I mean, that's just it. That'll do it, guys. And let's bring in ET phone home here. Let's chit chat with them. ET is here. Let's see, his camera's on. Let me see. Where is his camera? Oh, I don't think ET's camera's on.
Setting that up right now.
Oh, he is. Okay, but anyway, ET's here.
Howdy.
Gray, congrats on winning. Pretty easy for you. What are your thoughts?
Thank you. So I was thrown a little bit by the DTs. That was hard. I wasn't prepared. But yeah, I think Little Reaper could have done more with macro. I think so. Yeah, I think that's his opportunity right there. Because I was really thrown off by the DTs. Even my army got wrecked by DTs.
Yeah, he didn't have AoE either, so, and you know. But anyway, that'll do it for game 1 and 2. Little Reaper, that ends your run, and you're eliminated from the playoffs. How do you think you can improve for the next matches, if any? Little Reaper.
Actually, practice more, maybe.
I can't hear you.
Practice more, maybe.
Okay. Any final thoughts from either of you of the match?
Good game.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Good. All right, GG's. See you guys next time.
All right, GG's.
All right, so let's bring in ET, because ET is available. Our main caster is back. It's been a while. How you doing, ET?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It felt like every time I was scheduled, it wound up being like a holiday or, just busy. Couldn't make it, unfortunately. So glad to be back.
Yeah, welcome back. It looks like we have Valhurt ready to go. So, Noob Lord and Gray, who we just saw, and then Hurt in Time versus Vales. I think we can go with that one. I think they're ready to go. Let's go bring him in. And let's get this going, because we have a lot of matches tonight. Right, so, showing you guys that. We're going to start with that Noka, not the 2v2. Noka versus Valhurt. So, let's do that. Alright, bringing in the 2v2 team. Valhurt versus Noka. What's up, guys?
Hey.
ET's here, by the way, our main caster. I'm sure he has some good questions for y'all.
Oh, yeah. So, obviously, Hurt in Time and Vales, I think y'all have shown to be a pretty strong team. How are you feeling about Gray and Nooblord?
Confident, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, doing pretty good. I think Vales and I have been doing pretty well. I hope we keep that going.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I may have just missed the backstory to this, but how did y'all wind up being on a 2v2 team together?
I think KJ facilitated that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there's like, a lot of a decent amount of the 2v2 teams are like, they've been playing 2v2s for like 30 years or whatever. So I wasn't sure if it was something like that or.
Vales wanted a 2v2 partner, and Hurt in Time said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So that's basically what happens, right?
Cool. New partnerships forming right here. Then that's pretty cool.
Right. So Vales waited for this match. Vales, are you ready?
Oh, I'm always ready.
Always ready. People are gonna ask, what time is it where you are?
1 a.m.
1 a.m. All right, there you go. There's this match at 1 a.m., which is gamer hour.
Gamer hour.
Yeah. I'm a night owl.
Perfect. All right. Any final questions, ET?
Yeah, I guess Noka. How are y'all feeling about your opponents today?
So, I think they're strong, especially two Terrans. So, it's really tough to like do all ins or some timings because of possibilities of lots of AoE, or they might do double drops or things like that. So what we did is we watched some of their games so that we could at least try to formulate things we can do.
Gotcha. Hey, Noob Lord, why don't you start the veto process and the captains for the other teams, or the teams, right? So that way we can get going. And you can continue with the interview, by the way.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, you got to study up on the opponent. That's good. All right, and then looking at I'm trying to check the stats on it. So it looks like each of y'all have only played one match thus far. Is that correct?
We've played 2.
2? Okay. I'm not seeing it. Oh well. So still getting fresh off into the season. A lot that can happen. So you said Terrans, would you say 2 Terrans is the hardest thing to go up against in a 2v2, or is there like a different race setup that you'd rather not go up against, like double Protoss or something like that?
Yeah. Personally, I don't prefer having 2 Terrans on 2v2. Because they're strong defensively. They can set up a lot of proxy timings, or all-ins, and it's really strong as well. So it's hard to like always try to guess what the next move of the opponent is. So yeah, for me, Terran, two Terrans is the most challenging matchup for 2v2.
Right, yeah. And then I guess for Hurt in Time and Veils, how do you feel about Zerg Protoss as a pairing? How do you feel about that matchup?
Yeah, that's can be really strong early. The Zerglings and Zealots. So have to be careful that we don't fall to any early rush, and and then I like our chances.
I agree. Yeah, get past the early game. I think we'll be fine.
Fair enough. All right. Well, it looks like we're building the lobby at the moment, so we can go ahead and let you guys go to your individual chats and confer on your strategies about the maps. And good luck to you all. We'll see you after the games.
Thank you. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks.
Have fun.
All right, here are the maps selected.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, just shuffling folks around real quick. There we go. So yeah, we got the maps. We got Emerald City to start off with. Very big map. A lot of bases that can be taken on it. So a lot that can happen there. And then I think we have, what is it, heavy machinery or heavy weaponry up next after that.
Heavy artillery, yep.
As well. Heavy artillery. So that's coming up as well afterwards. And then the final one's going to be Roscallion, which is another 2 of the maps that have the conjoined main bases, so they're a little bit easier to defend. So, I mean, we had Gray talk a little bit about how that setup is, Terran is very strong defensively, and whenever you share a main base, that's even more so the case. So, makes a lot of sense to see that being selected, or the Terran players vetoing the maps where you're separate in your main bases. And I think heavy artillery is as well, shared main base. So, going to be very, very strong defensively indeed. We'll have to see how they perform. As it looks like we're pretty much ready to go.
So we got a prediction?
Yeah, I'd have to go. I mean, it's 2 Code B players or 2 Code A players versus 2 Code S players. So I'm gonna have to go for the Code S players and say 2-0 for Hurt and Time and Veils.
That makes sense.
What about you?
Yeah, 2-0. Actually, 2-1. 2-1. I'm looking for a 1 game. They steal a game.
Yeah, maybe an aggressive build or something like that sneaks it out. I could definitely see that.
All right, top left.
Yeah, spawning here in the top left, we got the teal Terran player from Psystorm. He is.
Hurting time.
And his ally, the purple Terran player, all the way from Europe, it is.
Veils.
And together they are.
Valhurt. They don't have a audio.
Yeah, I started to get an idea of who did and who didn't, but then some people have added them and some haven't, and it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, in the bottom right, we got the red Protoss player. He is. And his ally, the orange Zerg player. He is.
Green.
Together, they are.
It's Noka. I have no idea why they call themselves Noka. We'll have to ask.
Yeah, gotta ask that. So there's going to be a lot of ping. This is probably one of the highest average ping lobbies we'll have in the FSL.
Yeah, they're on the west lobby, so that helps a little bit.
Yeah, but then Veils, that means, is that much farther
Veils
away.
Is further out. Yeah, exactly.
So you got 3 out of the 4 people are not in the North American continent.
That's right.
So there you go. Quick scout coming in from Veils. Keeping an eye out for that aggression. If I remember right, Gray is like a bronze to GM player. Like he crafted all his builds from watching Vibe.
Exactly. I think he's like diamond now, so he's getting there. He's like low diamond or high platinum because he was doing really well. He beat Little Reaper pretty convincingly, even though Little Reaper did last month hit diamond MMR and then he dropped down to platinum, so they're pretty close. So I think Gray's probably diamond level.
Yeah. It was. I managed to catch the latter half of the last game there, and pretty good macro there out of him. Now it looks like the Terrans are being safe, putting their command centers on the high ground. Actually, not even a command center yet for Hurtin' Time. So getting out their tech nice and early. Might go for some sort of aggression with that. Oh, Hurtin' Time I think is maybe just.
He's gonna get tanks. Probably.
No, he's got 700 minerals floating right now.
He's a little off, I guess.
I think maybe he meant to, because this feels like he's just doing a mine drop, like not a super tech heavy thing. I feel like maybe he just completely forgot his command center. I feel like, he had to have just completely forgotten his command center. I think he meant to make it and just, didn't, or, thought he clicked it and clicked it somewhere where it couldn't actually build or something like that.
Yep, he just got home, so this is his first game probably.
Oh, yeah.
He rushed
that
home
makes
for
sense.
his match.
Just getting warmed up then, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that actually, I don't think that's a wall either, with that depot replacing the barracks. It shouldn't be a wall since a depot's smaller than a barracks.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Reaper does get taken out. So that's, that's a bit of hope there maybe for the Noka team. The fact that Hurtin' Time does appear to be a little bit. Oh, there we go. It does finish off the wall off, but a little bit, a little bit slow maybe on the plays thus far, having to warm up on the fly. So we do have a lair coming down and a third base. So very good macro out of Gray. Having a third base completed before like 3:30 is very good. Already has a queen out there as well, hitting his injects. So
never mind. I thought it was another hole, but he just lowered the depot. I saw these Marines walking to the right for the time. Oh no, he's gonna get the overlord. Okay.
Yeah.
Scout, right?
Yeah. Didn't really see the tech as much.
Yeah, actually, didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
I mean, he has confirmed that there are SCVs on the map. That's about it. They haven't even confirmed whether or not their opponents have expanded, so I think they're just kind of assuming they have, which is fair enough. Hurtin' Time and Veils, not exactly all-in players. And I will say, of all the kind of matchups that Gray could do well in, I think versus Veils and Hurtin' Time is one of them, because he's just a macro Zerg against a couple of macro Terrans.
Yeah.
Wait. Nooblord took 2 of Gray's gases? On his natural. I don't know.
No, okay, so what they're doing, right?
Oh, right,
so
right. I
doesn't
forgot you
lose
can do
the
that in
drone.
previews.
So he's helping him out, like, don't lose the drone, just mine from this, let me make it for you.
That works. That works out indeed. as, wow, very fast 2 medevacs out of Veils here. Very clean 2-on-1 build. Yeah, going into the quick spire, so he's got those extra gases down. He's even taken 5 and 6 on his third base. So he's going to be able to make a lot of Mutalisks, which is helpful against this drop harass that's coming out for Veils here.
I'm not a big fan of 2-on-1 on 2v2 because there's double the opponent.
Yeah, it's true. 2-on-1 does fare very well against a lot of all-ins, though. Just having a ton of Marines out. Against like the Roach all-ins and stuff like that. There's been many a time on ladder where I've just died because they went for Marines instead of Hellions, which do much better against the Roaches and stuff like that. I will say, against the Protoss in particular, I mean, if Nooblord was going for Blink here, then it would be a lot more dangerous, but just having Stalkers out, normally with 2-on-1, you only really have to worry about Queens, which technically can kill air, but it takes them a while to do it.
Muta's chasing.
Although the Muta's already out, but Veils should be safe there. I would have liked to see him just continue on. I thought he was just going to go right past and go for SCVs, and I think that would have been the right play there. It's okay, though. Grays, I feel like he must have workers sitting around somewhere because he's at 52. I guess he's not just full mining on 2 base. Something's still rallying over. Did lose quite a few drones, I believe. Yeah, 7 drones to that initial drop, and Nooblord lost 11 probes somewhere along the way as well. I'm not actually sure where, but
they might have done the drop that we missed. Because
I bet you it was a Widowmine drop.
Yeah, the Widowmine.
And I think it's coming back in there. I think the medevac's coming back in.
This Hurting time having some fun with Widowmine.
Yeah, this map is really rough to try and defend against 2 Terrans that are doing drops.
Yeah, and the
there's just so much space to cover. The Mutas, though, coming in, getting counter damage on Veils, who's down to less than 40 SCVs now. He's going to lose even more. Does have a turret over here, which is nice. But going to lose maybe a medevac as well. Does have to get out of there, though, with Thor getting a big splash. But still, that's 13 SCVs, a couple medevacs, and enough Marines to fill them. And Nooblord has quite a few Stalkers. I mean, this could just be a roll over them kind of situation. Are there really any tanks to anchor? There's 2 tanks out.
Units? Okay.
Now, the weird thing is, Nooblord went for a really fast charge and has 19 Stalkers and 0 Zealots.
If he had Blink, man, like you said.
Yeah, Blink would be making a big difference here, even if he just made Zealots to go with the charge that he made. But I guess with the drops, he's more focused on dealing with those, right? And also just making a ton of cannons, which obviously eats up your minerals pretty heavily.
Ooh, he just missed this... Well, he's spotted. He's spotted.
Yeah, it does.
Or not.
Maybe
no, he just passes it. Oh, he's not looking there at all.
I think he's there. Oh, man. He just warped in right there as well. That's a lot of probes to go down.
Yeah, the attack here with the bio, he got them distracted, so...
Yeah, now I can't say Veils is in a little bit of a precarious position. He's sort of exposed out on the map away from his allies' army, so if he gets an army diving on him, that could be a good move, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Gold too if he gets there, but...
Still no Blink on the way, by the way, and no Zealots either. It's just 2 Archons and 20 Stalkers. It really feels like...
fighting here.
Yeah, against... upgraded bio, I believe. Yeah, 1-1 bio against only +1 Stalkers with no Blink, with no Zealots. It's I don't know. It's a little weird what's going on here. There's some Zealots finally, but they get melted by the bio before the rest of the army can show up.
Things a little bit late to the party, but they finally do show up.
Yeah, do show up, and I mean Veils.
And the Mutas all die.
Oh man. I was going to say that Veils lost his whole army, so now, you know, they could be in trouble. But Gray just lost a big chunk of his army as well.
Yeah, Gray was trying to micro Mutas, but then the other things that are more important at this point is just teaming up. Just kind of neglected that, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, starting to see some Zealots come out for Nooblord is good. I do wonder if he meant to make Blink, or thought he made Blink initially, and that's why he was continuing to just pump Stalkers, or maybe just trying to deal with the medevacs. It's hard to say, but starting to get up into an army. I mean, supplies are even-ish.
Yeah, this game is closer than we thought it would be, given.
Yeah, I do think a lot of that, though. I mean, the supplies lie a little bit because Hurt in Time not only went for mech, but he also obviously had that super delayed natural command center, which kind of artificially put him farther behind relative to his skill level. Yeah, in they come now. The big push. I mean, there's not that many tanks to anchor this. I think literally only one, but I think it's going to be enough.
Oh, these are good vials.
Good biles, but just exactly enough biles to not kill anything. Unfortunately, neither that Thor nor the siege tank dies. In comes the mule hammer to try and repair. And yeah, I think the army composition as well. It's like the supplies were even, but the compositionally, the armies of the Terrans were just so much stronger. There's still no blink on these stalkers.
He's just like, it's like one of those things when you play. Sometimes you just start making stuff just because you're used to making it, where it doesn't make sense to me. That happens to some of us too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if they'd made it was literally not a matter of being out macroed. It was just they made the wrong units with their money. I think if they'd made the right units with their money, they would have had a pretty good chance of winning that fight. I mean, Gray's still up in supply on either of the Terrans. It's just Noob Lord's super dead now, and also the upgrades, I guess, for Gray. I mean, 1-1 just finished up, and 2-2 is about to be done for Veils. So
yeah, the other thing is the links to the gold of the Terran. He didn't check. He could have raised that pretty quickly, and that's giving a lot of money to this team. So this whole time.
Yeah, very true.
This game is still going on.
I mean, Gray's really hitting that macro hammer quite hard. He's up to 180 supply, but I feel like as Gray, you got to just max out and go, and I don't think we're going to see that, because like once he hits max with Roach Hydra, that's, you know, it's as good as his army's going to get. Every second you let them catch up in supply is another second you're falling behind. In comes a drop. Should be able to clear this out without too many problems. And I mean, Veils doesn't have that much army supply to give up here, as he's got 70 workers, which means he only got about 70 army supply as well. Catches the Terran army out here, which is good. I mean, it'll force the tanks to stuff. That's so many tanks, though.
And Noob Lord's not joining the fight. He's just now.
Yeah, Noob Lord's late to the party now. And yeah, there goes Gray's army.
Nah, didn't get a bile off at all for those juicy tanks, huh?
Yep, unfortunately not able to hit the big biles. And I mean, Mech's a tough composition to deal with. And whenever it's got a whole bio army in front of it as well, that kind of shores up a lot of the weaknesses of Mech. So definitely a tough situation. But I think, again, if they just had a better composition, I mean, just actually making Charge Zealots when you're upgrading Charge Zealots would have been a game changer.
Yeah, this definitely tells me there's a chance for them to win Game 2 if they do it. If they just make the units they upgraded for, like you said.
Yeah, I would say so. At the same time, again, I mean, Hurt in Time is still warming up, right? Made his natural command center like a full minute late, so
yeah,
it's not like it was a top tier game out of Hurt in Time, and still they managed to pull it out. So even with just that little bit of warm up, you might look a good bit stronger. As Terran's slowly pushing through with the tank sieges. And I mean, once you have 2-2 on your bio, you start to trade really, really well against Roach Hydra. Especially when the Roaches still don't quite have 2-2, as it's, I think, just now going to finish up. Lurker's a little bit late, unfortunately. Would have been a nice anchor point to have as well.
Yeah, and no, there's not much Noob Lord in this second half of the game, so just because...
Yeah, the first push of the Terran took out 2 of his 4 bases, and those are the fresh bases, so now he just doesn't have much mining.
Yeah, he's trying to rebuild the gold, but...
Yeah. It's a good attempt, but a little bit too late, falling farther and farther behind in supply now.
Yeah, going right to the teeth of the neck here, too, is not advisable at all.
They're gonna try and drag it out a bit, but I think it's
one of those they don't know that they're dead. They're as dead as they are. Like they don't know it. You know, when you play online, sometimes the guy's like, "Oh, why haven't you left yet?" Most of the time, they just don't know that they're dead. That dead anyway.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Well, a solid attempt. Maybe we will see a game taken. That would be pretty sick if so. But not going to be this game at the very least.
Definitely not. They don't even have an answer for the Liberators. And there it is.
Yep. GG. Man, Gray is quite fast already. Just got to shore up the fundamentals and the game knowledge and everything, and he'll be pretty strong.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, he technically had a higher overall score than Hurtentime in that game, so not bad. But that does mean we'll be heading into Game 2 with the 1-0 lead for Valhurt, as they are called. As it's going to be on Heavy Artillery. A little bit of a weird map. It's just, feels like taking your expansions and stuff is a little more vague on this map. It's a little harder to know exactly where I'm supposed to take my bases and stuff like that. Some of them it's like very straightforward. This one always feels a little bit weird to play on when I play 2v2s, so.
Yep.
We'll have to see what they opt for. I believe we have, everybody just about in. And yeah, we'll see. I could definitely see Gray and Noob Lord managing to take a game there. I could also see them not managing to take a game there. I'd say it's probably still about a 70 or 80% chance that they'll just get 2-0'd here. But a solid showing, something to feel good about anyways.
You're watching FSL Season 6.
Alrighty, we are loading into the top right-hand side of Heavy Artillery LE. We've got the teal Terran player. From Psystorm, he is
Hurtentime.
And his ally from PT Heroes, it is
Veils.
Yeah, Platinum Heroes.
Platinum Heroes. Oh, the big clan. And together they are Valhurt. And in the bottom left, we've got the orange Zerg player from Team Anito. He is
Gray.
Not, in fact, orange. Misleading. And his ally, the blue Protoss player from Anito as well. He is
Noob Lord.
And together they are Noka.
Yeah, remind me, you've got to ask him what Noka means.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Speaking of...
I think it was like a work thing, right? I think it was...
Yeah, I think maybe something like that. I think we did ask them this the first time they played.
Yep.
I just don't remember what they said, so I'll ask them again and pretend I didn't already ask them that once. Speaking of Platinum Heroes, though, it reminds me of the WTL, where Psystorm Gaming just advanced in second place from the group stages to the playoffs, so pretty awesome result, especially considering last season of the World Team League, we only barely advanced in the literal last slot, 7th. So to go from that to literally like being a game away from first place the next season, pretty awesome result.
Pretty amazing clutch play by several people, especially with
Yeah.
Haas at the last, the last game to put him at second.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the clutch play by the management of Psystorm to pick up Haas so that he could 2-0 Solar.
So
pretty awesome.
That's the funny thing with that, right? I remember we're going through it, and at the time Haas's MMR in the League Lag was really low, You know, we're talking about it. It's like, hey guys, do you remember Haas? If he's motivated, he can beat anyone. One game. This is his league. He's a sniper.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is quintessential Haas, just taking those little weird games off people.
Whoa! That
Oh my
drone.
gosh.
How?
Absolute hero, and does get the third base down. That's what I'm talking about with this map. I mean, that third base is so far away from the rest of your bases, especially as a Zerg. That feels really bad because you're trying to connect it with the creep and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's like, makes it really hard to use the Queen, the most OP unit in the game, to just defend everything if my third base is that far away. But anyways, does get a probe, so consolation prize. And, might get another probe.
Oh, man. Oh, he really wants
As,
it.
Yeah, again, can't rely on the Queen to defend your ally if they have no creep. But Vales is running away into said Queen, so got to be a little careful.
The Stalker's asleep on the job, but they think the Stalker would shut that down pretty easily. He's more worried about a drop, man.
So.
Look.
Yeah. The classic 330 Terran drop.
PTSD, man, from the Widow Mines in the last game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Vales, though, did a little over try hard micro there. I think he messed up his build a little bit.
Oh,
gets a little slower than it's supposed to be.
He really wanted the kid.
I remember when I used to play 2v2s with my friend who was much lower MMR, he'd just always share control with me. So I'd micro his Reaper while macroing as a Zerg so he could just focus on his micro.
Good idea.
Because otherwise he would just float 3,000 minerals and kill one drone. So had to be a little careful with that. A good start, though. Gray has a really clean, very, very, very clean early game. It's just getting through that mid game, I feel like, is where he starts to struggle a little bit, especially against Terran.
Yeah.
Tanks are, especially if you're kind of a Roach Hydra player, or if you're trying to get into those Mutalisks, like big mid game pushes are so hard to deal with. Because mutas just cost so much and provide basically nothing in terms of actually fighting. So, gotta have really clean defense with Ling Bane if you're wanting to pull those off. Made a bunch of Lings, too, when neither of his opponents is really pressuring this early on.
Yeah. Oh, look at that, fourth base.
That's a far away fourth base. A little bit of a hidden base, almost. So we do have a third base coming down for Nooblord. Both these guys have very clean builds overall. Like, it just feels like I mean, a lot of times Platinum to like low Diamond League doesn't really look like the same StarCraft as like Grandmaster, but this just looks like the same StarCraft, just a little less clean, you know? Has a little bit slower reaction and the macro's not quite as strong, but it's basically the same thing, like the same ideas of bases and compositions and everything like that. As in comes the big attack from Val Hurt.
Surround. This is a
Or
good
Cyclones.
idea.
Yeah, a big surround and only 2 Hellions here means not much to deal with the Zerglings. Vales is trying to come down or trying to come up and help out his ally, but absolutely crushing this fight is Grey Nooblord, and they need to go. I think they just got to go across the map now. Okay, he made charge again. He's actually making Zealots this time, though. He's got 4 Zealots,
okay.
so it's okay. But did go for the charge, not the blink once again.
Oh, if they go,
okay, it looks like they
have
are
a
going to
great
go.
chance here to at least make Hurt in Time lift, which is a big delay for them.
Yeah, and if he lifts, he's almost certainly going to lose most, if not all, of those SCVs. I think we might see like a big Bane morph.
Oh, shoot.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Of the Nokas.
Yeah. Now, even if they don't kill here, I think they'll still be in an alright spot because the Terrans are both still on 2 base and they're on 3 and 5 bases respectively. So, won't feel too bad if they do end up not doing enough damage with this push.
Here it is. Tanks are sieged.
Yeah, I think you see the tanks maybe just pull back, you know? I think having to wait for the Banelings.
Oh, these are good hits.
Yeah, those are good hits indeed, and the charge zealots on top of the tanks does mean a couple tanks will get cleaned up. If Nooblord can make it out of there with most or all of his stalkers, that'll be nice. We'll lose the Immortal, but most of the Stalkers should make it out, which is, I think, a decent trade. Not the greatest, not the worst.
Well,
Noob Lord,
they're
though.
expanded well, so I think it's good for them, right?
Yeah. Gray really lacking the upgrades, though. Not having 1-1 on your Lings even started is...
Yeah.
At a certain point, Ling Bane just doesn't do anything against bio if you don't have some upgrades, and they do. So I got to be a little bit careful of that. We'll have Bane speed, which is good.
Oh no, don't get that. Oh, he's fighting in there. He's getting...
Yeah, getting aggroed, not paying attention to his army. Maybe busy with that Liberator that's annihilating his forces right now. That's a...
wraparound Noob Lord.
8-kill Liberator. And Noob Lord's trying to do a wraparound, but will only get there in time to watch the base die, basically. Oh, actually, Vale's just going to stand and fight. And, man, I think maybe some injects got missed at home or something like that for Gray. Really felt like was floating a bit too much money there and just didn't have the follow-up. Not dead by any means. Does have enough bases to rebuild, but a little bit down in supply. Still, Hurt in Time is pretty low in supply as well, but again, that's a mech. This isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Gray's adding all those things that he needs for upgrades.
Yeah, starting to get that stuff going. We'll be able to make lots of drones. Going up to 76 is good. And we'll have Speed Banes if he morphs any. That's another thing that Gray's missing a little bit is the creep spread. Creep spread against Terran in particular is just so important. Not allowing those tanks and whatnot to siege up right on top of you. And I do worry a little bit because neither of these compositions particularly looks good against mech, which is obviously something they're going to have to deal with at some point. Charge Zealots does okay, but again, the bio kind of shores that up because it makes it so you can't exactly jump on top of the tanks because there's just a bunch of Marine Marauder there that will tank and kind of rip your unupgraded, relatively unupgraded Zealots to shreds, as it's only going to be +2 against +2/+2, plus tank upgrades for the Vales. And I think +2/+2 mech is on the way as well, so Gray's going to be very far down in the upgrades.
And they just scan the expansions. They know... I think they feel like they're behind.
Yeah, that could definitely make them feel scared, seeing Gray's on, what, 6 bases? I mean, he is on 80 workers, so if they give Gray time to actually make units now, then it could definitely be a dangerous situation for them.
Push. If he loses this army, like killing a hatchery.
I will say, yeah, the hatchery is only going to do so much. He's got 2 extra hatcheries basically at this point. But if this army gets caught, I was going to say, Vales is really not doing, and neither is Hurt in Time, a very good job of coordinating with each other. I feel like more often than not, they're pushing without the other player. And I mean, losing all of that for 1 base was just not worth it. And now Gray and Noob Lord are both up heavily in supply, and it's not Roach supply this time. It's going to be, holy cow, 11 lurkers and Ling Bane, which is a lot more dangerous.
Unless it's siege tanks that they're running into.
Yeah, absolutely. Does see them in an immediate ping. The like, bane of every Terran. Now, Gray just morphed 11 lurkers and is now making a lurker den. So
what? Oh, by mistake. Yeah, he just. Like,
I guess. I don't know how you forget that you had a lurker den when you just morphed them 5 seconds ago.
Probably a misclick.
Maybe a misclick. Maybe wanting the infestation, but I think he has an infestation as well. Yeah,
go on 2 sides though. They're going on 1 single choke.
Clearing out the rocks first is good. Yeah, and I mean the initial zealot should help clear out a lot. Oh my gosh, that's so much stuff. That army is just so massive. Holy cow, this is a true 2v2 fight. I mean, clearing out the front line of the Terran, but in come the bio, but now there's like 8 lurkers still left, going to be able to siege up. Oh, but Noob Lord.
But
I don't know. I think they're going to hold
this.
Here.
They bungled this, but they did kill the planetary at least. But still, that's a lot of lost army.
Yeah, Noob Lord has now lost 14,000 resources, dropped like 120 supply in that fight, and he's not remaking. He's only just now starting to warp in units, like 20 or 30 seconds after he had the supply to do so.
Yep.
Hydras will be able to clear out some of the Liberators. Will they get both? It does get all the Liberators and does have a few Lurkers still left, so will force a slow push out of the Terran. They can't immediately come in here. And, I mean, Gray still has... They both still have very strong economies, but Veils and Hurtentime do as well. Hurtentime lost his entire army, though, whereas Veils still got some to work with. Gray's Lurker positioning is a little lacking, but they're definitely not an easy unit to micro. So, oh my gosh, what are we doing here?
Yeah, they're going to where they're going to get crushed. They really shouldn't be fighting there. Let them come to you.
Yeah, especially, I mean, Nooblord just does not have enough production buildings. He's got 3,000, 1,000.
He has so much money. He's not doing... What does he have?
He just doesn't have a lot of gateways, I think. He's got, well, I guess he's got 13 gateways, so I don't know. I think he added a bunch of those on just now.
Here it is. Tanks are on siege. They gotta go now.
Yeah, in they go. That's a lot of charged zealots, but they're just standing there.
Oh, there you go. This is where you F2, right? There you go.
Yeah.
Finally clears it out.
Yeah, we'll clear out this army. Veils, though, still maxed out. And killing another base of Grays.
Oh, there's the Protoss. The missing Protoss has a significant army now, but... Oh, man, on the left side, look at that.
Yeah, they're just losing too much economy now. That was the main thing keeping them in the game.
Veils is maxed out.
If they can crush this army, there's not a lot of medevacs to get out with here. I don't think there's a blink, though. Oh, and look at that. Terran army trying to move through. We'll lose a bunch of stuff in the top right as well. Still no blink, which means the medevacs do make it out. Still, though, a counterattack could do okay here. I think they have to. That's their only real hope.
Have to, yeah.
Especially because Gray could morph like another 8 Lurkers, and then you just have a ton of Lurkers and Stalkers. Could maybe accomplish something, but they're not going to go, I think, if they're try to rebuild. I will say Gray did take the gold base, so that's good. He's getting his economy back in shape. And he's even looking to take another base in the bottom right, so expanding away from where the Terran's attacking. That's a good basic tenet of Zerg macro.
They need to be together. They're not together here.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, we might have a big finishing fight right here. Who's going to
Yeah.
get aggroed into?
If Gray was making more Lurkers with his money, I would feel better about this. Or if he made that infestation pit to make the hive and then never made the hive. If these Lurkers had any of their upgrades, like either or, it would be a different story here, but...
Okay, there you go. I like this. They're at least not getting aggroed into the meat grinder.
Yeah, both teams really having to worry about getting aggroed into a meat grinder here. As, neither team wants to run into Lurkers or tanks and Liberators. But I think they're going to get out-positioned here. The Terrans are just a little bit faster with their siege units. Still, the Liberators, not a great move there. Indeed. There's not enough Lurkers, though. 1 or 2 Lurkers can just get dove upon. And Nooblord's army is not here. Gray's fighting by himself. It was down to the right a little bit for some reason.
If he had joined there, they would have crushed this, I think.
Yeah, I think they just need to go up and to the left. I mean, all these Lurkers and tanks are useless right now in terms of... Oh, man. They are kind of pushing through a little bit. It's hard to call what's going on here. The tanks are up, though, now, and there's not enough diving units. There's not Lings, there's not Zealots, which means the tanks are just going to absolutely shred this army. I mean, here comes some Zealots. So that's a good start. Yeah, the army is just kind of blocking each other out a little bit. Still, though, not a terrible trade. I think the Terrans are still winning this out, though.
Yeah, Veils is still have a huge supply here.
Yeah, Veils just has the macro behind it. He's got 5 bases now pretty comfortably. And some of Gray's bases are starting to mine out. I don't think he's transferred the workers away from them. Yeah, he just doesn't... He's got like another 15 workers worth of stuff not mining, basically, or over-mining on patches.
Yep, he's got a new base here, but soon he'll be found out by this floating base. This is a
now, Veils never made 3-3, so that is a little bit of a saving grace. I mean, you have the 3-3, that would be just even more efficient trading. Uh-oh. Now the freshest space of gray is going to be found, though, and doesn't have the positioning to defend it.
They're kind of not sure where to go. Okay, he's going to go in the back. This is good for Noob Lord.
Yeah. We'll be able to clear that stuff out eventually.
Gray's not...
You can't lose this gold base, Gray. You gotta...
He had the army to attack it, but...
Yeah, that's all his mining. Liberators are a scary prospect, I think, is what it comes down to. So, again, it's just like a few minor adjustments. Their macro is good overall. It's just some of the decision-making is lacking for Noka. So if they can adjust that, they could be a very, very strong team indeed. Looks like Valhert will be able to push through and win this game, though.
Yeah, there's no storm. One thing we're missing, they're relying on lurkers and maybe some Archon for their AoE. But no storm, no disruptor.
Yeah, that's true as well. And, you know, I'm not a big fan of the Broodlord transition out of a heavy Hydra Lurker comp because he's going for ranged upgrades, which doesn't affect the Broodlings at all. I mean, even with Ling, Lurker, Hydra, Bane, I think you're still supposed to go for the melee upgrades, so another adjustment that maybe could have been made there, but funnily enough, there's not really much anti-air except Liberators, so they've got to come in and deal with that Broodlord, and indeed they will. GG, well played. And Valhert will take the series.
All right, let's go chit-chat with these guys.
Yeah, we'll have to pull them back in.
If not long.
All right, welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. Congratulations to Valhert for winning, but let's talk to Gray and Nooblord a little bit about what may have gone wrong there. Game number one, lost a good amount of workers to the marine drops and the mine drops. I mean, just some excellent multi-prong there. What do you feel really was the tipping point for that game for you guys, Gray and Nooblord?
Yeah, so that those drops were devastating. Plus, it's already like a hard counter for what I tried doing. I should have scouted before I tried doing roaches, or I mean mutas first, and then I transitioned to roaches. It was for us. Two things on the first game. Those drops, and then me going on roaches and mulas.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. And then game number two, it felt like you guys had a pretty good chance, but then you attacked into their planetary, and I think the lurkers kind of got stuck behind the stalkers, so they weren't really in the fight. And do you feel that's kind of like where it sort of started to fall apart for you there?
Yeah, so there's a lot of back and forth with that game. It was intense. And yes, so we could have picked to have one of us being air, because the problem with our composition is that it's too big. I mean the units are big, so they cannot
space or
have the surface area. Yeah, to work with.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. KJ, did you have any questions for... Oh, actually, I realized we did have a question. I think we may have asked this before, but the team name Noko, where does that come from?
Oh, yeah. So, we're workmates. Me and Nooblord, we're workmates, and our company name is Akon, A-K-O-N. So, when we joined this league, we just tried reversing it. So basically, Akon became Noka.
That makes sense. Okay, perfect. All right. Any other questions for Noka here, KJ?
No. Well, actually, we do. Nooblord, did you notice about the? Because you like charge, but I think what ET noticed was you made a lot of stalkers, but you didn't make blink. Was that something you noticed, or?
Yeah, that was the case. I really should be working. I know one of my own Achilles heel as a player is I'm a very macro oriented player. Unit control isn't exactly something that I'm particularly good at. I know it's an area of opportunity for me to work on it. And most of the time when it comes to me building stalkers, I'm mostly using it as an anti-air, not really as a tactical unit the way a lot of people do when they start blinking their units in or out of fights. Yeah, I guess that's something that I should really be working on.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. I mean, we were saying in game 2 in particular, I mean, there was a point where everyone else is like 120 supply, and then as a Protoss, you're at like 180, like which is not typically something you see. So I think you and Gray both have very strong macro mechanics overall. And starting to mix in that control side of things a little bit more will probably give you really good results. Obviously, it cuts into your macro at first, but once you get more and more used to it, I think it'll really strengthen you guys up. So well played overall. I think the series is a little bit closer than I might have expected going into it. The games, you guys had a chance in both of those to really pull it out. So well done there. But of course, well done to our victors, Hurt Time and Veils, managing to clean it out 2-0. I think probably the result you guys were expecting. Is that right?
I didn't have any expectations, and I was very worried in game 2 when I lost my planetary. Even though I thought it was a cost-efficient fight for us, I was hurting for resources. That was my third base, so yeah, it was good.
Vales, you felt pretty good, right, with your bio and just kind of controlling the map.
The second game, yeah, I felt really, really strong. I felt like I just killed everything. I killed base here, there. Like they said, the drops. Game 1 was a bit odd. Hurton said that the mine drops did a lot of damage, but I couldn't see it in the graph. I don't know if you guys saw from an observer point how many deaths there were.
Yeah, he did in game 1.
30 or 40 in about 3 rounds of drops, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that was big damage. I felt like we were further behind than we were then.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
Game 1, Hurt Time. Did you just forget your first command center? I think you did, but I was looking around for it. I'm like, there's no command center, and then you plopped it down around the time Veils. I think Veils finished his command center. KJ mentioned you were kind of just getting home and everything, so maybe not time to warm up. Is that pretty much what happened there?
You mean my first expansion command center?
Yeah,
I built it a little bit late. I went 2 gas. I wanted to, start getting some gas units out. So yeah, I knew it was going to be a little bit delayed. But yeah, I also just got back, and my timing is not where I would like it to be.
Sure, absolutely. Well, yeah, I think that kind of sums up the games pretty well. Game 2, yeah, I mean, I think there was, in a lot of people's minds, that was about to be a game-ending fight at the planetary there, but tanks pretty good. And like I said, I think the lurker is just getting stuck behind the stalkers a little bit there. So, but a big fight. Very impressive indeed. KJ, did you have any final questions for our players?
No, but it was nice seeing you guys get challenged by each other, right? So.
Yeah, definitely. Was a challenge, yeah. Definitely closer than I thought it should be. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah,
good job, guys.
Slugfest.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right, good games.
Laters. And Hurt Time, you'll be back when Sir Maligan is here. So at least you got warmed up. See you guys later.
Yep. Okay. See ya.
All right.
Okay,
Good luck in your game.
Let's do this. Let me move these guys out. Let's chit chat about the next match now. So yeah, the next match. Well, I think Fenrir's been waiting, and so we do have him on now. And Miss Uber XL. That's what we got next.
Bring them up in.
Yeah, let's bring him in. That is our Code B match.
Howdy to our players. As yeah, it'll be our Code B match of the night. Fenrir versus Mrs. Uber XL, a matchup we saw last season. I believe Fenrir coming out on top in that occasion. Miss Uber XL, how are you feeling relative to last season? Feeling a little bit better, a little more practiced, or about the same?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. We didn't know if it would work. I don't know. I mean, it's this time of year is rough for me. I haven't practiced as much as I should have because it's a lot of y'all know I'm in insurance. And this is open enrollment, so it's been crazy the last 2 months. So I've just been really busy.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Does that kind of, I don't know, like overshadow Christmas a little bit, or do they usually kind of give you guys a decent break in there with it, or is it just like go time all the time?
No, Cyan was off for 2 weeks with his work, and I was off the day after Christmas and then back to work Tuesdays.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it's crunch time for that, right? So.
Yep.
All right. Well, that makes sense. And then, Fenrir, how are you feeling about the match tonight? Have you been able to practice a little bit, or how you feeling?
Nah, I ain't practiced at all.
Okay, well, at least we'll be even in that regard. So we'll see how it goes. I seem to remember y'all's match being one of the more exciting matches of the Code B last season. So we'll see if we get that again. But I'm looking forward to it. KJ, did you have any questions for our players?
So what's your mindset, guys? You feel like, whatever happens, happens. If I get cheesed, if I win by a macro, whatever happens. Like, what's your mentality?
Not to mess up something stupid that y'all can laugh at me about.
I would never.
Second that motion. Got it. All right. Well, I think we're good to go. We'll see you guys on the other side after the game.
All right.
Good luck. Good luck.
All right. Here, I think the thing I'm using for my camera is gonna run out of battery. I turned it on.
All right. So, what is your prediction? You got any?
I think I'm gonna go Fenrir 2-1. I seem to remember he won 2-0 last season, but it's hard to say because I feel like he's really changed as a player since last season. Last season, obviously, Fenrir was the 2 base until 40 minutes guy, so I think a lot has changed for him.
Yep.
And I think Mrs. Uber XL actually did a pretty good job of adapting to that sitting on 2 base strategy even during the one series that they played. If I remember right, game 2, like she was getting all the right pieces. He just happened to notice that and actually moved out for like the first time in the Code B in any match he'd played, and just killed her while she was still prepping up. So I think this could be a very even series. So, but I'd go 2-1 Fenrir.
2-1 Fenrir. All right, let's go do it.
A lot of matches tonight, as we are going to load in, but it's going to be Data C to start us off.
We had to make up some games. We were falling behind, guys.
Yeah, the holiday seasons. I think we missed a day for Thanksgiving, missed a day or two for Christmas.
Storm
the other,
Cup,
yeah, the big holidays
Cup.
like all the tournament holidays. So a little bit of catch-up work to do, but I don't mind. I like casting these, so. We are loading in here in the top right-hand side of Data C. We've got the teal Protoss player. She is.
This is Uber XL.
And her opponent, the green Terran player. In the bottom left, he is.
Fenrir.
All right. And speaking of Storm Cup, of course, I think some of the best games we've had regarding the FSL were had at Storm Cup. The little show match we had some absolutely awesome series by the players.
We did.
The 4v4 in particular with those humongous nukes. Great stuff to watch. So hopefully we can run that back sometime in 2023 as well, but we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, we should be doing one. Probably going to be at a new facility. You'll be glad to know, closer to you. We're looking at one in Virginia, so.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Yeah, I I remember we got an Airbnb across the river in like New Jersey or whatever it is. Geography I'm terrible at, but I think it was New Jersey. Anyways, and you know how Google Maps has the avoid tolls option ticked?
Yeah.
Or it can have that ticked. We had that ticked, and we routed to the venue, and it said an hour and like 30 minutes away. But if you got rid of the avoid tolls, it's like 10 minutes because
You went the
the
wrong
only the only bridges across the little river there are toll bridges, so you'd have to go like all the way around otherwise.
Oh no!
So
did you notice
we did, because we were like, there's no way that's right, because when we were scouting out the Airbnb, you know, we just did Google Maps on a computer, which doesn't have that option, because they're not expecting you to haul your desktop in the car with you for routing. But so it said 15 minutes. We're like, this does not look right. So managed to figure that out. But yeah, toll roads. I'm from West Virginia, so that's they kind of just can't deal with them personally. So
Yep.
if it's in Virginia, that'll
Sometimes you
be
just
pretty
need it.
nice. Yeah, sometimes it's necessary, but if it's going to be in Virginia, that's great. Remember the venue a few ones back. I think it was the one that it was hosted at the longest. Was pretty nice. I can't remember the name of that one, but
in the Fairfax Government Center. Is that the one?
I don't
Or are you
think
talking
so.
about the
That
Cave
was
Gaming Center.
the Cave. I think it was the Cave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
back
Cave
when
was
like
the-
True used to be there and everything.
Yep. Well, True was
that
at
was a
the
nice one.
at the big one too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, yeah.
It must have been the tournament before I was there, or one or two before I was there. But yeah, always cool to see a new venue. You know, well, as long as the venue's not terrible, but I don't think any of them have been. So
Yeah.
it'll be cool to have another new spot to check out.
Yep. We can also do just a Side Storm Cup special event too. So it'll be a smaller venue, but it'll, as long as it's close, people can make it. But we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. As players, builds looking cleaner and cleaner in the Code B.
Yeah, they look decent here.
A little double gate action out of Mr. Zuber XL. Quick expansions out of both players prior to like 2:30 or something like that. So that's pretty good.
Man, this looks good for Fenrir, man. 3 racks and no super fast like eBays.
Yeah, no double eBay into the 3-3 by 10 minutes. Another staple. No longer a staple, though. But yeah, this is actually like a legitimate 3-racks build. Pure Marine, it looks like. There's also the 3 racks that goes double Tech Lab, so you can get Stim and combat shields, and also some Marauders and concussive shells. But this one, it looks like, is just going to be Pure Marine. Actually, did he already get? Yeah, he already got combat shields. So
he started with that. Yeah, I guess he started with that. Huh?
Yeah, does have the bunker to be safe as well. I'm really curious if he's actually going to move out with Stim, or if this is just going to be purely defensive. But definitely looking good.
Mrs. Uber XL is in trouble if she doesn't get more units, charge, storm, or something, or at a minimum, shield battery.
Yep, the shield battery. Unfortunately, her husband's rubbing off on her.
Yeah, I was about to say that. the science syndrome of no shield battery.
Yeah. No shield batteries. And there comes the Fenrir wall, the Great Wall of Fenrir. As Robo +1 air and Robo on the way now from his Super XL. Did get warp gated a pretty solid timing. Adding on 2 more gateways is nice as well. As Stem's finishing up and no Marine movement out onto the map. No extra Marines being made. Gets a little supply blocked there, and those 4 depots finishing up will cure that issue for him, though.
And this Uber XL's upgrading air weapons.
Yeah, but not making any Stargates.
Yeah, she's getting way ahead of that for later.
She'll have the 1 carrier with 333 at 12 minutes. There we go.
She likes making void rays, so that's what I'm expecting. But
yeah,
they're terrible against Marines.
Unfortunately, I definitely prefer to see a Robo Bay and go into some Colossus or something like that.
Yep.
As I think it's a bit of a Fenrir staple as well to never make Marauders ever. He pretty much only makes Marines, I feel like. Although there's concussive shells, so might make me eat my words. There we go. Marauder
there it
starting up.
is.
So there you go. He's making N Marauder. We'll see how many mines up making, and some tanks as well. So still would definitely like to see Colossi, as that's a pretty heavy Marine count, up to over 20 Marines, and
she
continue to pump them out.
Desperately needs AoE here.
Going for a fast fleet beacon does mean she might go for carriers, which could be good, but I think we might see the Fenrir move out here as he scans.
Yeah, he saw.
And
you don't
there
have
we go.
anything.
Yeah, not a lot of units out yet. No charge, no blink. Does have 2 tanks. I mean, admittedly, this is another Fenrir staple. I don't know why he hates starports so much, but I feel like he almost never makes medevacs. He's a campaign player. You know, he's like, if I can't make medics, then I can't make healing units. Basically, I guess.
Yep.
So there comes the double eBay. No super upgrades this time for him, but they'll still be coming in a reasonable timing. No third base on the way though. Continuing to pump out units. I think Miss Uber XL might be able to hold here, as since there's no medevacs, eventually he will kind of bleed out from the stims, and he's not even sieging up the tanks. But still, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's like 8 gateways, but without charge. If there was charge here, I feel like she could definitely hold, but as it is, it's going to be very difficult to do. Charges up the Void Rays. Unfortunately, they're fighting Marines, so that doesn't help much. But I mean, even with just the amount of stalkers she's able to warp in bit by bit, she may be able to hold here. I mean, he doesn't have that many units. If she pulled all the probes on the Nat right now and just A-moved with those stalkers, I think she would live here, but I think she may just end up dying instead, unfortunately.
Yeah, she needs charge at minimum. Or a shield battery. Imagine if she had a shield battery there. 1 shield battery.
Yeah, a single shield battery would have made a big difference. Any Twilight Council upgrades would have made a huge difference. And, yeah, unfortunately, even if she just stutter step these onto the tanks, oh no.
Yeah, and Fenrir's taking up 3rd base. I think this is fatal damage.
Yeah, fatal damage indeed. Even just an Immortal or 2 would have been pretty good, you know?
Yeah, Cyan may have to give a little bit of a tip there. She certainly was in position to win that one. By deflecting that first attack, I think she would win. She had a big lead.
Yeah.
And all that.
Absolutely, yeah. Would have been in a great spot. Could have taken a 3rd base and just gone from there. I think Twilight Council or something like that. Or just, yeah, instead of going for the Stargates, maybe just go double Robo, like into Colossi or something. Any of those would have made a big difference.
Alright, well, game 2 is on Moondance.
Yeah, Moondance, I could definitely see Fenrir turtling up on, as you do have the 3 base set up with that pocket base. So at the same time, could also just see him move out and try to kill again. Definitely, you know, evolving his play by adding in those kill moves when he sees that, you know, he has an army advantage. So a good adaptation out of Fenrir. I guess the main question will be, has he moved past his proxying buildings and then floating them home without building any units on them?
Yeah, I think he has. I
think so. Haven't seen it yet, but there's still time. Yeah, he's definitely improved a lot since the both Fenrir and Qianpone have improved leaps and bounds over their first series performances in the Code B last season. So, I mean, Qianpone in particular had the 2 gateways at home and then just walking zealots across the map was his debut game, I believe. So, definitely evolved past that quite a bit. So we are getting ready. Moondance, like I said, does have that pocket 3rd base, so that can be nice to have. And yeah, I think for Miss Uber XL, you're looking for Colossi and shield batteries.
Yeah.
And charge.
Well, she's getting some coaching now, so let's see. I mean, it sounds like...
Yeah.
Sounds like there's some game planning here.
Yeah, any 2 of charge, Colossi, and shield batteries would have been enough to win that game. Maybe even any 1. I'm not sure. Because, I mean, the initial fight was close. So if there's an overcharged or even just a regular shield battery or two there, that's probably enough to tip it. And if there's a single Colossus, that's probably enough to tip it over. And if there's charge, that's probably enough to tip it over. So definitely a lot of ways. As it looks like we are ready to hop on in.
Well, there, I don't think she's seen the "Are you ready?" message, but
nope, maybe not. Still getting coaching in melee. She'd be disqualified right now.
the thing is, Science probably giving her like a gazillion things to remember.
Right. Yeah, you got to keep it
What-
short and sweet.
Keep it just one or two things. Like, hey, do this and do that, and that's it, right? Because they're never gonna
Yeah.
remember all of this.
Don't make Void Rays, make Colossi. That's probably all you'd need to say.
Shield battery, go to Colossus.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was
We got
saying.
some coachception. We're coaching Cyan on what to coach Mrs. Uber XL.
Yeah, keep it simple, silly, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do multiple things, even like at my level. Like,
Well,
whenever
let's
like,
see if she
'cause,
notices.
like sometimes you'll have the people hanging out in Discord calls, and they'll be like, "Do this
Yeah.
and this." And while you're playing, it's like even just keep track of
No,
one
it's
thing they tell you to
nuts.
do
It's
is
too much.
hard.
Yeah,
to do.
or if you're playing and you're getting coaching, like things queue up in your
Yeah,
head. And
yeah.
You're like, oh, I forgot about that. Anyway, we're gonna start the map, start the game, see if she notices it, and we'll pause if we need to.
Yep, that should work. As of
If
course
she
we do
doesn't
have
move
2
her
more
workers.
series tonight.
Yeah.
After this, a Code S and a 2v2. Noka and Polaris. So you kind of, I guess you get to see a little bit of a benchmark of Polaris versus Valkyrie even here as well. So a lot of info to be found tonight. And we are heading into game here in the bottom right hand side. Or sorry, bottom right. We've
I
got
just
the
wanted
green.
to see that she was doing something.
Oh yes, yes, yes. The green Terran player from Redstone. He is.
Defend the rear.
And in the top left, the teal Protoss player from Sidestorm Community. She is.
This is Uber XL.
Oh yeah, she made the community team. I didn't know she was in the clan yet.
Awesome. As I gotta say, that little, whenever the Nexus is making probes, the little animation on top looks awesome with that skin. I've not seen that before, or at least not paid attention. I think that's one thing about being good at games, at any particular game, is you kind of miss out on a lot of the cool little details because you're so busy focusing on other things that, like, whenever I had like skin packs I was playing with in any particular game, I didn't notice the skins like ever because I'm not looking at that.
Oh, for the little
it's more
details.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dwarf Fortress, the game, but it's notorious for having graphics that are literally just like letters representing things. That's kind of how I think a lot of like Grandmaster players see this game. You don't actually see this stuff; you just sort of see data points.
Yeah.
So you miss out on those cool things.
Yeah, 'cause
But
you
that's
guys are trying to evaluate things quickly, almost like Alpha Star.
yeah, exactly. You gotta be on the fly, doing things fast. So you miss out on a lot of the cooler things in life. But nonetheless, solid build out of the players once again. I think Mrs. Zebra excels maybe a little bit more. I think this is the coaching effect, right? The build's not quite as clean because she's like muttering to herself, just like shield batteries, immortals, shield batteries, colossi, void rays, not void rays, colossi. You know, like trying to keep up with it. But Fenrir's looking good, of course, getting that immediate tech lab. And yeah, looking solid. I think the natural base is maybe a little bit slower for Mrs. Uber XL, but not particularly, so should still be fine. And I think the other thing for Mrs. Uber XL is she's got that rare problem that like the lower league players have. Most of the time, they never make enough production, but then every now and then, it's like 1 out of every 10 like silver to gold players or silver to platinum players has the exact opposite, where all they make is production, and then they don't actually have units. Like she had like 3 Stargates, a Robo, and 8 gateways on 2 base, and then like no units last game. But yeah, sometimes there's those people. Or like in team games, you'll see someone who's on 2 base with 8 Stargates, and you're like, that's It's not how the game works, and they've got like one Void Ray out. So maybe work on that a little bit as well, because I think it's, you know, you get the gateways, but then you're like, well, now I need to do my Sky Toss transition, but then you don't actually use your gateways to make units. So, oh, actually, a very good adaptation immediately, as it's an immediate Twilight Robo.
Yeah,
like that.
So,
So I wonder if we'll see Charge Zealots then, and maybe Immortals or
She
Colossi.
just needs to get the charge upgrade,
Yeah.
and then the actual Colossus building, right?
Yep, make the actual upgrade, and she'll be good to go. But I mean, these buildings are already miles faster than the previous game.
Yep.
I mean, she had like 3 Stalkers and 2 Zealots, and Warp Gate was done before she'd even started the Robo facility, and she never made a Twilight console. So the units already being, or the buildings already being a lot faster. There's Charge, looking much better. The main thing though is got to make sure you keep that probe production going. They are pumping out of the main base, but want to get that natural going soon too. As a Forge on the way, a single eBay out for Fenrir. I like that. Into fast stem, and combat shields already done, blazingly fast. As he looks like he's got a pretty settled build. 3 barracks into a slightly delayed factory going for those tanks, and then fast combat shields and stem. Adding in Marauders a little bit quicker than last time, though, which is nice. Charge Zealots, though, really put a bigger onus on the Terrans micro pretty easily. You can just A-move the Zealots, but if you don't stutter step back as the Terran with your stem, then the Zealots are just going to perform like twice as well as they would otherwise. So just having those is going to kind of throw a wrench in that that fight that we saw from last game into this game, as we do see Robo Facility as well. And you know what? I think what we'll see is Fenrir's going to see this and probably not want to push out.
Yeah, with that scan. He's going to scan and make a decision like last time.
Yeah, exactly. Because and we saw this in the previous series as well, where he scanned, saw weakness, like the last time they played last season. Saw weakness, went in for the kill. But I don't know if he's going to see that this time around. I mean, he might. Another thing that you see with Fenrir might see is he's not just looking for weakness. He's looking for, are they going to be able to kill me if I don't kill them now? So if he sees Colossi being made, that might trigger him to go, I've got to move out because I can't deal with Colossus once there's more than a couple out.
So interesting thing is, neither of these guys are scouting at all. So we probably won't see a scout until the actual scan that you mentioned.
Yeah, that seems to be Fenrir's preferred method of scouting, is just doing the scans, which, you know, is fair enough. He doesn't really need the mules because he tends to float thousands of minerals anyways. So using the energy for scans is, I think, completely valid. Now, Mrs. Uber XL could already have a Colossus, like, out at this point. Oh my gosh, she's making Observer speed. Yeah, doesn't see the Colossus tech. So that could be helpful.
Clicked on the wrong upgrade.
Yeah, going for Observer speed, so she will be able to get one heck of a scout off with that Observer once she decides to move it out. But already looking much better for Mrs. Uber XL, as Colossus should be out before any attack could come out for Fenrir, but it doesn't look like he's even planning on moving out. Maybe at least, maybe waiting for +1 armor or something to finish up. Looking like a professional Terran, I gotta say, with the 1 barracks making both upgrades. I think that's a very common thing in PvP in particular.
Yeah, that's the new thing, right, with Terrans?
Yeah,
well,
you delay.
Who was doing that? That was you know, you upgrade off of 1 and then you do the other upgrades. Some Terran, was that Maru? I don't remember. And then that's like,
There's probably Maru or Klim. Any innovation made by Terran is probably one of those 2 guys at this point.
Oh, here's the push.
Here comes the push. Charge and +1 will be done. That second Colossus will finish up pretty soon after. But the problem is, that's all she's got,
battery,
really.
Man.
No shield battery and 5 zealots. I think she could easily have like 15 zealots here at this point.
Yeah, she's not making
but the Colossi not being on the low ground will mean she has time to sort of gather it up with her other units, except she's warping it on the low ground.
No, she's sending it 1 at a time.
Oh, she's targeting the tanks as well, which is not actually what you want to target in this situation. And in he comes. Yeah, that's going to be game. As, yeah, I think focusing on too many things, like the upgrades are nice, but I think she needed to just make as many Colossi and Zealots as she could and not worry about the upgrades. And so that means we'll unfortunately get taken out here by this push. As I don't see a way to hold this. I think maybe if she'd pulled every probe, you know, that would have been enough, but
that's an advanced concept.
yeah, unfortunately. So a good try. I mean, this game was closer in a way, but I think Fenrir's push was a little bit stronger as well. So GG.
Well, let's go chit chat with them really quickly.
Yeah, we can pull them in. All right. Well, congratulations to Fenrir. Does manage to take it down 2-0. Mrs. Uber XL I think you're starting to adapt a little bit, but it's hard to kind of make those adaptations on the fly. I'm sure you had like a million different things Diane was trying to add on. Do this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, he did.
So, a close one there in that second game, though. I think it was just, you add on some things, but then some other things aren't there. Like you had fewer overall units. You had better units like Charge Zealots and Colossi, but just not enough. And obviously they weren't all together. So a good attempt. And I think Fenrir just has adapted and evolved a little bit from the never leave my base guy to if he sees that he's got an opportunity to attack, he will attack. And so good improvements out of both of y'all, though. I think you both were a good bit stronger than the last time we saw you guys face off last season. So a good attempt there. KJ, did you have any questions for Mrs. Uber XL?
So, Miss Uber XL, how do you feel the coaching is with Cyan? Despite the result, like, how do you think?
Oh, it was. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He came over here. I get what he told me to do. My biggest thing was I didn't get the zealots out. I didn't keep up with getting the zealots out. Yeah. That was my biggest thing. Everything else I was on point with what he told me to do, the Colossus, and upgrade and do the forge, but
he gave you all of those things to do.
I have a whole list. Like
that's too much. He should have just said charge slot, Colossus, keep making them. Or something.
He said no. He said zealots, upgrade them. Colossus, upgrade them. Get a stalker out there in case he pulls something out. I did everything he told me to. I just didn't get the zealots out because I kept forgetting to do it.
Well,
so
thanks for letting us have the insight in the dynamics of the coaching pupil at the Stewart household.
I'm more of an air person. So he has to kind of tell me to stop making air things sometimes.
Right. Yeah, after game one, we saw him come over into the camera, and it's like, oh, good, he's gonna give her some advice, and then it was like 2 minutes later, and we're like, oh no, he's giving her too much advice. There's gonna be too many things.
Yeah, I had to take notes.
But I think overall, that general idea of adding on the quick robo and the quick twilight and stuff, if you get a little bit more used to that, and you also still hit the zealot cycles and things like that, that'll level up your play quite a bit. So maybe something to strive for. Obviously, it's hard to just throw all that in one game, but if you can start to add that in, I think you could be a real strong contender in the Code B. So good attempt overall, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Of course, we've got our winner as well, Fenrir. I mean, you see the scans, it looks like, are kind of telling you whether to go or not to go. Is that kind of how you're working these days?
Well, honestly, I made the build order up on the fly, and I was so scared I decided to waste some energy on some scans just to see if she had enough forces to scare me off, really. I was planning on attacking before 5 minutes, and then I ended up amending that to I'll attack at 6 minutes. And then it was 7 minutes. I find it very difficult to move out, but the scans, I don't know why I was scanning. I mean, honestly, if you're asking me to explain what I was doing, I was literally just, like, pushing the man with gun button.
Yeah, I think the build was pretty clean overall. A lot better than like last season's builds. You were making a lot more units. You weren't making 3-3 before 5 minutes. You got quick stem, quick combat shields, and the tanks. I think that was a very, very strong TVP build there. I mean, obviously the tank pushes are seen even at the highest levels. Obviously a little bit cleaner maybe, but the general concept was there, and that's a tough build to handle as a Protoss. So if you came up with that on the fly, you came up with a good build on the fly, I will say. So very well done overall.
Referencing, like, I was just like, I remember Pro Terrans do something like this, and I was doing that and hoping I did it as close as possible.
Yeah,
So
I mean, even right down to the second game, adding in, I mean, you were even just slightly improving the build into the second game, right? You made more Marauders, you made a quick engineering bay to add on +1, but not double engineering bay to do 1/1, which is like pretty much exactly what they do with those tank pushes. So very well done overall, and a strong 2-0 win there. KJ, did you have any final questions for Fenrir?
Well, you're looking much better with your build, congrats. And Miss Uber XL, you're just 1 or 2 things away from, pulling it off, but you did look better also, despite not practicing somehow.
Thank you.
All right, guys. See you guys on the next one.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.
All right, so our next one is a 2v2.
Yeah, it's going to be Polaris versus Noka.
Yeah, let's see if we can see them.
Yeah, see if the players are in here. Yeah, looks like we've got them.
Yep, we just need
drag
to
them
move
in.
toward here. There you go.
Hello to our players here as we are heading into the final 2v2 of the night. Of course, we do have the code S match to close things out after, but right now we've got an exciting 2v2. It's going to be Noka versus Polaris. Noka obviously already playing a match tonight. So how are you guys feeling about Polaris as opposed to Valherd? Do you think this is going to be an easier match or a tougher match overall?
I think it's gonna be as tough as the first game.
Right around the same. Okay.
Yeah, because we know that Instability is like a Code S player, so kind of wary about that.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. And I mean, they've already had some good results, I believe, throughout the season. So
on those games as well. They played flawless in most games. So
yeah,
Make sure
I think
you guys do
just
your vetoes, by the way, before we get going.
oh yes, vetoes. Looks like we're most of the way through. Just have to actually pick the maps. But
or let me refresh. I apologize.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
Okay.
So, Polaris, how are y'all feeling about? Did you watch the match that Noka just had against Valhert, Instability, or Caliber?
I did not.
I watched part of it, but I was kind of busy at the time.
Okay, makes sense. So, obviously, that's Terran, you're Terran Protoss, but how are you feeling about this match? Don't both answer me at once or anything. That would be bad.
I feel like it could either go very well or very poorly. And I don't think there's going to be like an in-between.
I'll second that motion.
Fair enough. So it's going to be really one-sided, but you don't know which direction it's going to be really one-sided in.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. Yeah, interesting. Now, as it is your turn to pick a map, by the way, Polaris, whoever's doing that. But, let's see. Yeah, so Terran Protoss versus Protoss Zerg. So should be pretty standard. It's going to be Nightscape for the first map. How do y'all feel about that map? Caliber, you answer that.
Oh, I feel good about it.
Great. I only ask you because I know you don't have the slightest clue how to feel about any of the maps.
I'm pretty ambiguous. My game plan for the maps changes only slightly based on their layout.
Right, yeah. Where you're going to put your base just depends on where the bases are, right?
Basically.
Right. Well, fair enough. As we will go ahead and host up on Nightscape, but I'm definitely looking forward to this match. This will be a good litmus test, as I think Noka is going to be one of the stronger opponents you guys have faced. So we'll see how it turns out. But we'll let you guys go to your chats and sort of plan things out. So we'll talk to you guys after the games. Good luck.
All right.
All right. So, yeah, I think they did finish their vetoes.
Yes, indeed. We got Nightscape, Emerald City, and Ruscallion.
All right, man. We were hoping for a 2-1 in the last one. Didn't happen. I think it's possible here. What do you think?
I think it's as equally as possible, basically.
Oh, so it's about the same.
Yeah, I think there's a decent chance of it. It's a little hard to say because obviously Caliber doesn't have any sort of ranking outside of 2v2s. We don't have like a concept of how good he is in the 1v1 scene like we do with all the other players. But I think he's probably a little bit worse than Noob Lord and Gray by just a bit. Like probably like high gold, mid plat, somewhere in that range.
Well, if you compare it from the last team, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, the last team obviously was. I think they most recently played Hyper Turtle and War Bunnies, correct?
Yeah. I think so.
And they took them down, which is, I mean, a team that's made it into the playoffs pretty much every season they've played. So.
Yep.
Looking strong overall. Caliber's a good anchor point. You know, he's very stolid. He's steadfast, really. So just got to kind of rely on that, I think, and they'll do okay. But especially with none of the super weird maps like Fields of Death and stuff, kind of cause weirdness. But and I mean, we've seen them hold against all kinds of plays. Like we saw Kitty Cat Gamer and Cyan just like cheese them as hard as they could. They held that. Obviously, Hyper Turtle and War Bunnies is going to be about as late game focused of an opponent as you can get. But they won that, so looking well rounded overall. But Noko, they've got strong macro, so we'll see how they do.
Right.
As in the bottom left-hand side, we got the purple Protoss player from Anito. He is
Noob Lord.
And his ally, he's 12 pulling the blue Zerg player. He is
Gray.
And together, they are Noka. And their opponents in the top right-hand side, we got the red Terran player. He is
Caliber.
And his ally, the teal Protoss player from Redstone. She is
Instability.
And together, they are
Polaris.
Oh shoot! I could have sworn they had a player intro.
Yeah, they didn't.
Or a
They
team
didn't,
intro.
they didn't make one. But you know, the only one.
Oh, I think
that
what it
has
was
an
is
intro-
Caliber didn't have a player intro, and then he does now. I think is what it
yeah,
was.
I see. Got late. Yep. The only team that has an intro is Turtles and Hair this season.
Oh wow! Everybody saw what Sir Maligan and Mazel did, and they said,
Oh,
"You know what?
yeah, forget it."
I want to do that. I want to be like that." So, and indeed, they have been like that. Well, yeah, we'll have to see how it pans out. I think the big thing is that Instability has the ability to make splash damage, which is going to be really rough for Grand Nooblord to deal with the compositions we've seen thus far, especially if she makes like disruptors. And then obviously there's the opportunity for tanks from Taiga, so could be pretty
Taiga
scary
needs
there as
to
well.
Taiga Caliber needs to micro because there's a bunch of early lings coming. And
Yep.
If
Oh, but the lings are going to the wrong
Yeah,
base.
if he had gone to the Terran, cancel that
and
command center or delay it by a lot.
Yeah, should be able to delay it. I don't
Oh,
think we're going to
smart
see a
move.
cancel, though.
I don't know, man.
Oh!
I think we will.
Oh
if
my
he,
gosh.
Oh, he's not attacking it. He should have canceled the Terran first, but he's gonna go with this.
My guess is he's trying to stunt Instability's growth more than he's trying to stunt Taiga's because she's the scarier player.
That's true.
Just a guess, but I don't think they're going to be able to. Well,
Oh, look at Noob
I
Lord.
mean-
He could have helped out with his stalker too. It would be the big difference. Oh, nah, I don't think instability. Is
I'm not sure why she's not shading. Okay,
I
finally
know,
shades.
If Noob Lord had sent to help this with his stalker, man, they would have a huge lead by now. But
Yeah, but I mean, still no base being constructed for Caliber and or Taiga. I'm just going to call him Taiga. That's easier. But
yeah, you know,
nothing
the
being
two
constructed
stalkers,
there.
man, they could kill one of these bases with the lings, but that's teamwork, right?
Yeah, I think it's just this is a pre-planned thing, right? There's not really any adjustment on the fly. It was I'm going to go Stimlings and harass, and then we're going to macro up. Obviously, at this level, it's hard to be like, oh, actually, this is going well. Bring your stuff. It's those quick adjustments that are really hard to make. And now, is he still not?
He's still not
He
doing
still doesn't have an SCV building his command center.
He got a little tied up, huh?
Yeah. Okay. I think what he did is he had an SCV that was building a barracks and then told it to go build a command center once it was done. So it's only just now getting there, which is quite unfortunate. That's a really, really bad start for Taiga.
But
and
you know, yeah, the Gray had a lot of idle drones too, so.
Yeah, and the great equalizers coming in, Dark Templar. So we'll see. There's not a lair on the way. There is no robo. There is a forge and some cannons being made, but that only protects Nooblord, not Gray.
Oh man!
And
We
the
saw
War
Gray
Prism is
take
late.
Damage. We saw Gray take a ton of damage from Little Reaper's DTs.
Yeah, and instability presumably will micro her DTs as well. You would think, maybe not actually. Little Reaper has very good micro. He just has to focus a little too much on it and only micro, you know. So might actually be micro. We'll see. Now the big thing is going.
Oh, you went on
Zerg and the
robot
Protoss, that's cannons up. Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're back now. You're back now. You were in
Oh.
robot mode there for a minute.
Yeah. I'm on the fabled Starlink internet, which has like an average ping of 130. So sometimes voice calls don't work the best. But yeah, unfortunately, Instability's Prism is going for the Protoss, which he does have a cannon, but she could honestly just drop on top of that. Will she? Yes.
Oh, there's a shield battery.
Oh, but flies away. Yeah, but 4
is he gonna
DT should be able to
overcharge it?
overpower.
He didn't overcharge.
Yeah. And now there's no hope of detection really for the Protoss anytime soon. Zerg is making spore crawlers, but
Gray can
it's
make
still
an
gonna whoop
overseer.
in.
He's not doing it.
Oh, is there a lair? Okay, no, he is. It's somewhere. I'm not sure where he's making it.
Where is it? Let's go find it.
Oh, it just popped above his natural, so it's headed down to the main. But a good amount of damage coming in, as it is a slow-ish overseer. Currently got 17, 18, 19, 21, 23, 30. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Nooblord just lost 30 plus workers to the DTs. Now, if Instability could get out with a couple of these DTs, that would be really good, but no such micro. So instead, we'll just... Oh, actually, doesn't quite make it out. Well, I think that definitely equalized things out a good bit. Gray's still up and... So looking dangerous. And personally, as Protoss, I always found that doing builds like DTs or like Glaive Adepts and stuff, it feels so difficult to get back into the groove of a regular composition after that. So we'll see if Instability manages to navigate that. But it can definitely be a little bit more of a struggle to like get into your regular composition after such an aggressive build. But does have 3 bases. Taiga, the anchor, has 3 siege tanks, 30 marines, a couple medevacs, getting his upgrades, so looking okay. A relatively even position overall, but Instability's even on workers with Gray, which is a kind of a scary thing for Gray. Since he is a Zerg, she is a Protoss, and Taiga, of course, being up 11 workers on Nooblord, so I think overall advantage Polaris thus far, but only because of the DTs. I mean, pretty much any other build, and I don't think they take nearly as much damage, so... And, I mean, heck, if he'd even just overcharged that shield battery, that might have negated most, if not all, of the damage.
Yep.
And he does have a gold base, so his economy's actually doing pretty decently.
Yeah, no cannon at this new base for Nooblord.
Yeah, nothing there yet. Oh, but in comes Gray. This is not a lot of units for Instability, but Taiga should eventually, in the next few business days, make it over here to help out with his giant army.
Great.
Okay, here it comes, but oh no, his tanks are going around one way and his bio's the other way. Okay, I think he's gonna, have to pull back here. Fortunately, the Marines will be able to chase down and do quite a bit of damage while they're retreating, and I think Polaris might even be able to just push through and win with this. I mean, 5 tanks is a scary, scary number when you're playing with roaches. But they'll just pull back. Still in a comfortable position. Instability did lose some units, but she didn't really lose workers there, so probably feeling pretty okay about that trade overall.
Yeah, and Nubler has cannons warping in for the gold, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, we'll be able to defend that much more easily now.
Oh, Templar Archives for Noob Lord. Will he actually get stormed this time? Because that was the thing they were missing in the last game.
I'm gonna guess those are for Archons, but it may be Storm. It's making Void Rays as well, which I'm not a huge fan of in this situation, but it's not terrible by any means. Just drops out some Charge Zealots. Gonna warp in a bunch more Charge Zealots, but New Lord's army's right here, so I don't think this is gonna do all too much. Kills some more workers. Does okay. Obviously, Void Rays don't kill Zealots very quickly at all. And the Prism does manage to scooch on out of there. The big thing they're missing here is if the tanks now came into the bases in the north for Gray and sieged up, that would be 2 or 3 bases gone. The big thing is at this level that happens a lot of the time is you go into the Prism, but that's all you do, so it's not that hard to defend it.
We got a little bit of a lag here.
Uh-oh. I don't think it's even me this time. So, hooray for me.
Yeah, instability dropped her camera, so...
Yep. Might have had some internet issues over there. Yeah, disconnected. Okay. Just an internet blip. Instability also on said Starlink, so.
Got it. Okay, let's see if they're ready. Okay, we're going back in the game.
Alrighty, should be good. I can't say the Starlink is usually decent. You're slightly laggy, but that's it. But it does have spikes, but they usually only last for like 20 seconds, so she should be okay. At this point, probably. Going for a lot of Archons, not the greatest against a Roach Ravager composition, but adding in the Banelings. So those will do much, much better now. And Nooblord, he's slowly getting into that Skytoss army, but...
Where is this Nooblord's army?
I mean, you got to remember he lost 42 probes this game.
Oh no, I mean his army is not with the Protoss.
I see, yeah. This is this is gonna be another just jointed attack. Oh man, and Caliber just scans it perfectly.
I wouldn't attack. I would just run home. Gray, what you doing? You're 2-on-1.
He's trying to come in with a flank, but
it's
the flank is a little bit late,
no
and that's 2v1. And he's just gonna get chased down.
Nooblord is nowhere to be seen. He's just staying at home.
Nooblord's, like he's huddled in the corner, kind of rocking back and forth, and going, Prism. Gotta defend against the Prism. There's gonna be a Prism. It's gonna be DTs, like that's the only thing he's worried about right now. Is trying not to get killed by a War Prism.
Okay, they're finally gonna get together, but
yeah, there we go.
The teamwork here that's what's lacking.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, this push is gonna kill him. They have no AOE anymore.
You could make a drinking game of how many times Caliber C stems in one game, but you'd never get drunk because he almost never does it. There we go, finally. He's very careful with not over stimming. which is a respectable play, I gotta say. GG will be called, and that's going to be 1-0 lead thus far for Polaris. Very nice. All right, so that's game number 1 in the books. And again, I mean, there was some potential there. If they just defended against the DTs, then that game could have gone very differently. Unfortunately, not able to defend against the DTs fully. And, I mean, losing 40-some workers is an irrecoverable spot for Noob Lord. And then Gray, unfortunately, going in with his army by himself, gets pasted into the ground by the Colossus tank and Mass Marine. So, still though, I can see potential there. Instability though, with the DTs proven quite effective. Quite effective indeed. This is going to be Emerald City. A conjoined main base once again. With a very defensible natural and a pretty easy third base to take. I guess the other thing there was Noob Lord obviously went for the 12 pool, which means he did not have detection or lair out as fast as he probably normally would have. So maybe they would have been able to defend against the DTs a bit better if he'd been able to get that a little bit quicker. So who knows? That might be a difference if DTs are attempted again. Although I'd be kind of surprised to see Instability try that twice in a row. I suppose it's always possible, but we will see.
All right, you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, a good 12 pull out of Gray. I mean, that initially got a lot of damage. I mean,
Yeah,
it looked
it did.
good. It was just DTs on the other end of things. And I mean, if he'd actually killed the command center for Taiga, I think that was just a little bit of his priority. But again, I think it's like Taiga, they just think of Taiga as a pawn, right? And Instability is the queen on the board. So they're just trying to take that down. And then the pawn en passant becomes a queen itself, and you're dead. So got to be careful of that. But anyways, we are hopping into the game here. In the top left corner, we've got the lone orange Zerg. He is. And his ally, the purple Protoss player, also from Anido. He is.
Noob Lord.
And together they are Noka. And their opponents in the bottom right, the red Protoss player. From Redstone, she is.
Instability.
And her ally from Bossum, the Blue Terran, he is.
Caliber C.
And together they are Polaris. And I gotta say, I mean, these teams, probably the two easiest teams to come up with a team intro possible. I mean, just flip the company's like logo, you know, upside down into Noka and some of that.
That's a good one.
And then just Polaris is literally just a star, so like just a constellation or something, you know, with Polaris in it. Boom, you'd have player team intros. Come on, it's so easy.
Just have AI do it, like.
Yeah.
AI
Just put Polaris into an AI or thing, you know. But anyways, no 12 pool this time around. And we'll have to see. I think Taiga typically prefers the 2-on-1, but obviously in 2v2s, it is a little bit easier to wind up just losing those medevacs to the opponents. So we'll see if he opts for that. I think the previous game he didn't because he got a little thrown by the 12 pool.
It's a funky wall here by Polaris.
Yeah, this looks like, I don't know if you saw, but not Forsen. No, it was Forsen. No, Lyric played StarCraft on stream like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that.
He?
Yeah, with like 20,000 viewers, but he was playing Protoss, and he'd always try to wall, and his wall would just be like the most ridiculous, like 3 pylons, a forge, a gateway, a cybercore, 3 zealots, and it still wouldn't be a wall.
That's funny.
It got better throughout the course of the stream, but yeah, it was definitely the struggle of many players at the lower levels is just trying to get that wall off. I mean, that's why Gemini has to release like a full in-depth guide on how to do Reaper walls and everything on each map pool, right?
Well, that's
it's hard
the
to.
Reaper walls. I don't even want to bother with a Reaper wall.
I think he does the regular walls as well. He does a guide for both, but they're hard to figure out on the fly. But it is going to be a 2-on-1 for Taiga, and Instability is going for Phoenix, 2 Stargate Phoenix. I kind of like that with the 2-on-1 a little bit. Can kind of help to zone out. It's going to be Glaive Adepts on the other side of things. Maybe we're going to see like a Ling Bane bust or something with Glaive Adepts, or just a Ling Flood with Glaive Adepts. I'm not sure. He is taking the gold base though, which I do like. But that gold base is going to be very exposed against the Phoenix and that double drop when it comes out. There you go.
Neglecting the Overlord.
Yep. You can see the Instability's leadership coming in there, pegging the Overlord for Taiga. Go kill this.
Yeah.
Now, the big thing with the Phoenix is that, I guess, Phoenix are pretty good against Adepts, I should say. Against the Lings, they're not going to be very helpful, but against Adepts, because Adepts are light, but they're also a much heftier unit. You know, each Adept is 100 minerals, 25 gas, as opposed to a Zergling is 25 gas, right? Or 25 minerals. The Phoenix are going to be a lot more helpful against any sort of Adept pressure that might come out. Although, I don't think they are going for a pressure, maybe. I don't know. It's a little weird. Making the glaze, but they don't really seem to be shaping up to move out with it.
Yeah, Newport likes this cannon shield pattern at the very back, rather than in the borderline. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if it works, it works, I guess. As Instability moving out with the Phoenix. They'll be able to just kill the queens as there's no spores out. And slowly pick off queens here, there, and everywhere. So the queen's coming back, but yeah, just barely couldn't kill that queen there in time. And now going to kill some drones as well. 5 overlords there. Ripe for the picking. Instability carefully microwing to spread the shots across all the overlords evenly. There we go. We'll clean up 4 or 5 overlords in total. Heavily supply blocking, great.
Oh my
50
gosh.
out of 18. I think that was every overlord on the map. It was. That was every overlord on the entire map.
Yeah, he's lost all his overlords, starting with that first one.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen 0 overlords at this stage in the game. That's crazy. There comes more, so that's good. But she's just going to kill those too. And so there's only a queen and a 4. Yeah, those are very much at risk.
In one game, Nublor doesn't have a lot of stalkers.
Right? Yeah. Our fault. My bad.
Oh man, we had high hopes for this next game, but that's a terrible start, and I don't know how you recover.
Yeah, Gray at 33 workers right now. Nooblord's base over here is completely exposed. All these probes could die. And, I mean, they're going to come out and just smack face first into Taiga, I think, on the other side of the map. As he's just been macroing up behind this at 90 supply here shortly. Here he comes indeed. I mean, they'll get a pylon. But the Phoenix are even coming home, which will prevent units from running away.
They really can't, you know, like, once you know you're not going to win something, you got to go home.
Yeah, I think there just wasn't much chance. Yeah, at the Phoenixes, there is no escape.
Yes.
You can run, but you can't hide, and you can't even really run because they'll just hold you in place and slap you to death, basically.
You're not making enough spores here, buddy. That's what she's saying.
Yep. Oh, and Hydras as well is only it's a kind of response to Phoenix. Phoenix technically can kill lots of Hydras as well because they are light units. And Instability's just kind of running away with the Phoenix count here. Up to 4 Stargates of Phoenix at a time. And just a struggle bus here in the second game. Instability with the nasty aggression in both games, though. Very well done. Taiga's going to come in on that gold base now for the killing blow. And a great series out of Polaris here. It's funny because it feels almost like, I think they've won this more decidedly than Valhurt won. But at the same time, it also doesn't necessarily feel like that translates into they would beat Valhurt in any decisive manner.
Yeah.
It feels like these kinds of builds that they're going for are only working because of the skill gap. And whenever you're up against 2 Code S players, you're not going to kill 40 workers with DTs, And you're not going to just steamroll over and snowball out of control with Phoenix. And if you don't do that, then are you going to be able to hold up in the macro is the real question then. So we'll have to see. I'm very curious to see that match whenever it comes down the line. But GG's called. Alrighty, we'll have to drag our players kicking and screaming back into the main chat. All right, welcome back, everyone. Congratulations to Polaris on the win there. Noka, a good attempt, but not quite able to pull it out there. And Instability, the predictor a little bit there, saying it's going to be really one-sided in one direction or another. And with 40 worker kills in game 1 with those initial DTs on poor Nooblord, as kind of sealed the deal in game 1 for Nooblord and Gray. And then game 2, the Phoenixes, I feel like, just snowballed a little bit out of control there. Maybe just not ready for him, Gray. What do you think? Gray?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. We're caught. We got caught off guard with Phoenixes and DTs, and it was a nice. It was really nice strat from Instability. Our timings didn't go as planned because of those.
Right. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And game 1, I mean, you did have a great opening with the 12 pull. I think that put you all in a pretty good spot. But then, of course, the DTs countered and got just a crazy amount of damage. So I think that kind of sealed the deal on game 1. But I think overall, the series was about as close still as the series against Valhurt. It just looked less so that way because the small edges of tanks and things like that look a lot bigger when it comes to Dark Templar that, in a blink of an eye suddenly you don't have anymore. Things like that. So just little bits of just snowballing tactics really out of Polaris there. But a good try overall. I think you guys have a lot of potential as both individual players and as a team. So if you keep practicing, I think you guys will do quite well. But KJ, did you have any questions for Noka here?
Questions for Noka. It was hard to come up with a question given they were on the back foot the whole time, right? So usually I would ask something about what they were doing, but they were just kind of on the back foot there. You guys have any comments on how you prepare for such a thing in the future?
I guess we would. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here, let's have Gray answer first, and then
yes, Gray.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. So, I think we would have to play more 2v2s because it's really different.
Oh yeah, I see. That makes sense.
And you would have to prepare for match ops, who would go witch, who would go AoE, things like that. Even the map picks, we would have to prepare for it because whenever we practice, we only practice 1v1. So I think it's an opportunity for us to play 2v2 more.
That's a good point. Now you reminded me of a question I had, because we did notice you guys were playing like two separate people the whole time, right? Like you would attack somewhere just by yourself. Noob Lord would stay at home, like worry about some drop thing, and you would go attack 2 versus 1, and you get your army crushed. It's like, oh, they're playing like complete. They're not even talking, it seems like, right? So those kind of things. Even your 12 pool, which did a lot of damage, if Noob Lord sent his 2 stalkers together, they were just chilling at home doing nothing. If they were in there, you guys probably would have canceled both bases, but you didn't cancel either. So, those are the small things. Very small adjustment, I think, and you'll find a lot more success. So, yeah, you're right. And now that you brought it up, that explains everything. You guys were just 2 separate guys, happened to be in the same map, playing, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think still though, a good try overall. It's hard to coordinate the attacks and everything because you're just worried about
Yes.
your own stuff at a certain point.
That 2v2 is funny like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think what you got to do, and maybe you already have this, you got to just decide one person's a team captain, and they just say, I'm moving when they're moving, and then the other person has to go, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You got to have a leadership hierarchy is important in those team games in particular, just to have someone that's making the calls. But a good try overall. Yeah, the shot caller, exactly. Just got to pick one of you. You could even flip a coin. And then there you go. But good try overall, and good luck in the rest of your matches. So we move over to Polaris, who did manage to win there. Instability to the series kind of go how you were, pretty much exactly how you were hoping, or any wrenches in the plans there?
The 12 pool was definitely unexpected. I thought I had scouted, but I guess I just didn't. So it really took me by surprise. And I thought we were going to lose both of the naturals, but yeah, I guess it only being 1 player against 2 made it work out for us in the end.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then game 2, I think you just, snowballed a little bit with the Phoenix there, getting the queens. I mean, you may not know this, but you killed every single Overlord on the map at one point. I don't think I'd ever seen it at that point. It was 50 out of 18 supply, and all of his supply was coming from his hatcheries. So obviously kind of a tough spot to recover from for Gray there. So very well picked strategies, though, I think. Played the opponent quite well there. And Caliber C, Taiga, we were saying, you're the anchor there at the back. If anything does go wrong with the aggression from instability, then there's just the tanks and Marines waiting to hold. So very well played there as well. And a good series overall. KJ, any questions for Polaris before we send these players off?
Yeah, you guys looking ahead for the playoffs? Because you guys are looking decent. It seems like there's a collision course with Valhurt there.
I don't know about the 2v2 playoffs. Personally, I haven't been paying attention to it at all.
Got a different playoffs in mind?
It doesn't look good at the moment, does it?
Oh, you're still, you're going to make the playoffs, so no matter what, you're in the playoffs, I think.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, you guys are 3-0 right now in 2v2.
Yeah, it should be fun.
In Code S, you're undefeated. I don't think you've even dropped a map, so you got a good shot in both, I'd say. So
well,
looking forward to seeing you there.
She just lost her last one, so I think that's what she was referring to. She lost to Ghost Chant.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's been updated in the doc yet, so that makes sense. Well, I'm sure you can come back stronger next time, right?
Yeah, she just has to.
There's only a lot of Terrans, so just losing to one of them isn't too bad, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for the games tonight, and we look forward to seeing the rest of y'all's series throughout the season. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Very nice.
Have a great
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you for the nice game. See you later.
See you, Noob Lord and Gray, Instability and Caliber. Later, guys. And now,
the premiere event.
Yeah, now.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
We got our Code S match finally.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be Hurtin' Time versus Sir Maligan. Hurtin' Time coming back for his second match of the night. Sir Maligan fresh and hopefully ready to go, as it's going to be a PVT here. Sir Maligan, how do you feel about your match here in certain time?
Hey, what's up, guys? So somebody has to win.
Oh yeah, it's the undefeateds, right?
Oh.
No, actually, no, the winless.
The
Battle of the
undefeated.
winless.
There you go.
Yeah, Battle of the winless. So actually, your mic is acting up, Maligan. So just check that for a second. Hurting time, man. You excited about this one? This is a tough one.
Yeah, I don't have a positive win percent against Sir Maligan. He always manages to DT me in some manner. But
some DT,
let's
right?
see what I can do.
And
Yeah.
if you had caught Maligan a month ago, I think you have a finally a great chance to 2-0 somebody. But now it's gonna be very, very iffy either way, right? Because he's been practicing. How about you?
Oh, yeah. Not too much, no. Just playing some twos and occasionally, and haven't been playing too much. I've been traveling for a month, so.
Well, you got your win out of the way. You got a nice dominant victory with Valhart, right?
Yeah. I think that's going to be my focus this season, and just ride out the S matches.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, how's my audio now?
Oh,
It
you're
is
still
the same.
robot
Very
mode.
slow, very robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sir Maligan gets DTs in bases you didn't know you'd taken yet, right? So it's definitely a challenge there. But well, I think we could probably fast forward into the game there
we can
here
just do
soon,
that.
since
we'll do
Maligan's.
we'll talk to you guys longer, maybe afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully maybe
Alright,
some
guys.
signal issues or something like that sort themselves out. Do we have the vetoes done for
Yes,
this?
sir.
I believe. All right, perfect. So we'll go ahead and hop into game. Good luck to you both, and we'll talk to you after the matches.
Guys.
That's quite the voice effect going on there.
Yeah.
Both robotic, but it also sounds like he's talking in slow motion a little bit there. So let me host up. We've got inside and out to start. Observer. Yeah, I can pop it up. It's Observer Plus, right? Yeah.
Oh, I'm already in with Maligan.
Oh, okay. Doesn't look like anyone is in the lobby yet. All right, let me hop in there. Okay. Is there a way to pull up the battle report in Observer Plus? I don't know. how
Yeah,
to do
Shift
that.
B. Shift B.
Shift B.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, cool. All right, so it's going to be a PVT, starting out an inside and out. I feel like this is a very popular map in this pool, as I believe we're getting 7 new maps after Katowice,
Soon.
isn't that right?
I don't know when it was. I thought it was going to be today because they had a new season, but apparently not. But whatever.
I think they didn't want to do a new map pool, like all 7 maps being new that close before the the World Championship, I guess.
I mean, that makes sense. But they could enforce. They could enforce, the old maps there, but like we do here, right? Even if we switch. But anyway.
Yeah, it's true. It's hard to get practice on them then, though, because you can
That's
only
true.
do custom
That's
game
true,
practice.
'cause everyone's
on the
on
ladder.
ladder. Yeah.
Or maybe they could have just done 4 maps now, 3 of them after Katowice, or 3 maps now, 4 after Katowice, or something like that. But oh well, at least we're getting patches. We're getting maps. Now we just got to get money. That's the
Yes,
last
sir.
checkbox for 2023 for StarCraft. We got the maps, we got the patches. Now we just need the moolah. So looks like we are ready to hop in the game. And it's our final series of the night. Should be a pretty epic series. I think these guys, well, they're both equally unwinning. In this,
Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to give you
this
insider
season.
info here, Mr. ET Phone Home. I
Yes.
predict a dominant win by Sir Maligan. He's been practicing. He's been on fire.
All right. Well, you know what? I will go ahead and say 2-1 for Maligan.
2-1 Maligan, 2-0 in dominant victory for me. That's my prediction.
Alrighty.
We'll
As
see
we
what
do
happens.
have the man himself here in the top right, the green Protoss player from Systrom Gaming. He is
Sir Maligan.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side, the teal Terran from Systrom Gaming. He is
Hurting time.
Yeah, and he's on Sidestorm Gaming because before Sidestorm Gaming became what it is now, he was there with us playing, you know, with a bunch of casuals. We were all a bunch of casuals, just kind of.
Yeah, that's fair. That's basically what happened to me. I wasn't fully casual, but Exxon, obviously, we kind of started off as a little more casual, and then eventually joined into Sidestorm. Although originally I was on Bossum with Taiga, but
yeah,
left the fold. Anyways, Maligan scouting around a little bit here. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing there. Oh, maybe proxying a building, I guess. It's Maligan. I suppose I should have anticipated that.
No, dude, he's scouting. Look at his thing, man. He's scouting.
Oh, I guess.
You cannot proxy this guy. This is what he does every game. He will scout.
Yeah, there you go. Who was it that also did that, but was a Terran player in the Code A? It was Criminal, I think, maybe?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Scouted every direction with like 4 SCVs every game.
Yeah, this dude, man, scouts. I played a few customs with him. He found every single stupid pylon I hit. And I was like, all right, forget it. I'm not going to do it.
Fair enough. Yeah. It's worthwhile. You know, doesn't cost too much in terms of mining. And oh, wow. Hurt Time is pulling out the builds today, as it's going to be interesting. He mined 88 gas and then just went, nah.
I wonder why he mined 88 gas.
I feel like this is just him going, oh, he's not cheesing me, I'm going to cheese him. I feel like this is almost reactive. Like, he threw down all 3 barracks at the exact same time, basically.
He's like, yeah, forget it. Let's just forget the gas, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. Maybe would have liked to see a single reactor then on one of the barracks, you know, since you have the gas for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a tech lab, make 2 Marauders.
What's he doing with these SCVs?
Moving out already.
He's gonna
now,
make a bunker with these SCVs, I suppose.
Yeah, looks like it, but I think he's going to meet in Adept, I think that is. Maybe, yeah, an Adept coming across the map. And I don't think Maligan's going to know what to make of this. Now, Top Gun, or Skylar on Sidestorm, was the first person I ever saw do this build, and I don't think I ever saw him win with it, but it was always very close. As in he comes, starting the bunker with the low health SCV.
Oh, but the shield battery is different these days, guys, right?
Yeah, I feel like with this build, you gotta wait for like 15, 20 Marines, and then pull every SCV.
Yep,
you can't
exactly.
go this fast with it. Because it's all about the surprise factor, and you're just not going to have that here, unfortunately. And yeah, I think we're going to see a quick first game here as Maligan, with 3 Adepts now, obviously, they can one-shot Marines. And Britain Time's going to be kind of stuck on one base for a while. It gets 31 workers to 16. And he's going to try and get a bunker up, but I don't think that's going to happen here, as the Adepts are a little bit too close. 4 Marines out, though. Going to be going up to 7 soon, but I think by the time the other 3 Marines get out, the Adepts will have cleaned up all of these Marines, although not the best target fire out of Maligan just yet. Yeah, not the greatest, but, I mean, he's still so far up here. This is just caster hype.
16 workers.
He's more than doubling the worker count, adding on additional gateways. And I mean, he's still going to be able to harass around with the Adepts. Going to kill that SCV as well. Kills another Marine. And should be able to either maybe even lose this Adept. But I mean, they got more than what they needed to get done.
Yeah, 1 Adept killed, 11 Marines, and 5 SCVs lost according to the battle report. That's pretty bad. With fully mining base for Protoss.
Yep, in total, yeah, 6 SCVs, 12 Marines for 3 Adepts, and all the lost mining time and delayed command center and everything like that. So, a rough situation. I think a little bit of an on-the-fly build out of Hurt in Time. So, instead of holding back with the Marines like you probably need to there, it does move out immediately. But I respect the attempt,
like,
you know.
Yeah, he's not going to do that again, even in ladder. It's like, okay, that will never work in ladder.
Yeah, I still remember the only when I queued in for random to try and place just to see what I'd get. For whatever reason, it was like, oh, well, your GM is Zerg. I'm just going to put you up against only Grandmasters as random. And I only got Zerg once. But the only other game I won was as Terran, which is my worst race because I just went, well, I guess I'm going to 4-Rax because that build's really dumb.
Yeah.
And I beat a Grandmaster Protoss that I'd never beaten with my Zerg as Terran with a 4-Rax.
Because of the 4-Rax, yep.
Which
eternally
sealed my opinion that 4-Rax is a broken build. I mean, holy cow. I didn't have any sort of build I was following. I was just like, make 4 barracks. Anyways. Third base coming in from Maligan. Just playing it safe. I like this. You know, not going... not reversing the all-in, right? Just playing it solid, knowing you're going to be ahead.
Double the
Not given the chance to throw the game. As you have 44 to 22 workers now. And up in army supply. Getting charge, getting the warp prism.
Yeah, look at
heading
that.
into
No
Colossus
DTs
tech as
for
well.
you, Maligant.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, though, I feel like Maligan could probably have made enough DTs to just kill the Terran's army straight up anyways, but isn't doing that, luckily.
He's gonna blink in and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, looks like it. He's gonna hop on in there. The 4-gate blinkish build. A little bit later than normal because of that 4-Rax that happened, but still gonna be able to get a lot done. 3 free. Trying to snipe it because it's stim, but it's not stim. It's combat, or not combat shields. Concussive shells. Does lose a couple stalkers, but nothing too bad. Gets an add-on. Gets a couple marauders. Still, the battle report does say 4 stalkers for 2 marauders and a marine, but also a tech lab. So.
Yeah, he missed the observer there. He tried to snipe it. Good pullback.
Yeah, almost got it, but not quite. It's now charge and blink done. No Colossi on the way just yet out of Maligan, who is losing his worker lead. Needs to probe up that base. There we go. Firing up 3 probes at a time now. And even going to have a warp prism to harass with.
Yeah, he's about to get some workers back.
Yeah, I mean, this might not get a ton of damage done. Not sure what that zealot's doing.
The zealot was like...
The distraction zealot. Oh, so we could blink up. That's what it was. He wanted to use that zealot for vision on his stalkers.
Sense,
yeah. Again, I like the attempt. Still able to blink up and snipe the combat shields researching tech lab. Concussive shells will be finishing up. It's funny because you got all these tiny little skirmish blinking, warping a few zealots here and there, and I'm like, I think you could just walk in the front door and kill him right now, to be honest.
If he only had the map hack.
Yeah. But I feel like you gotta know you're pretty far ahead here as Maligan with the early game. I mean, taking like no damage. The guy's going 4-Rax against you. Oh my gosh. Hurting time, don't do it. Oh, he's trying to catch I think he's trying to get around behind the observer and walks up there and there's an entire Protoss army. It's not just an observer. Hurting time is good at spotting those observers though, I gotta say. For this level, it feels like he's continually spotting it out and realizing it's there. Which I guess
he's probably doing
Stalker
the
blinking
thing.
up right there is
he's just doing
a little bit of a tell. But yeah. A good trick for sure.
Not always Marines were firing. They're kind of jib-jab in there, but now it's GG.
Yeah, just too much stuff here for Maligan. Even does some blink micro back as the zealots go in, killing a dozen workers or more at this point, basically. And now he'll go into the natural where there's nothing waiting for him. And yeah, should be able to just kind of steamroll through now. So a good game out of Maligan, of course. Not the best build out of Hurting Time, so it's a little hard to say how the rest of the series might go based off this game. As if it's just been a little bit of a cleaner build for Hurting Time.
Yeah.
Might not have gone this one-sidedly.
The context of why it became this way still doesn't make it where I'm right that it was a dominant game 1 win, right? So,
Right. I mean, it was a dominant win, but yeah.
But yeah, it was just a bad build. Let's see. I hope to see a much better build from Hurt Time. Like an even to even, you know, like, okay, we're both doing the right things. Let's see who wins, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be good to see, because Hurt Time's, you know, he's had pretty good performances against Protoss players in the past. Just try to keep up with the youngins, I feel like, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
A lot of the other Protosses are, you know,
I'll
bright and fresh youth.
The winning. I'll tell you this. I played some customs with Sir Maligan, and he destroyed my turn. So that's why I'm like, okay, he's gonna be whooping butt today.
Yeah, I mean, there's been very few series where Sir Maligan didn't look like he at least had a chance that I can remember. I mean, even when he played Instability last season, there was that crazy game on was it Blackburn, where he was in Instability's main base with buildings for like 20 minutes, just fighting back and forth. So, and obviously Instability, one of the stronger players in there, so he's always stood a chance in basically every series he's played. So, definitely going to be a tough opponent. And I mean, we saw there, more than tough in that game right there.
Yeah, the one where he really got spanked was Vales' debut.
Yeah, Vales feels like he's on a little bit of another tier for the Code S at the moment.
He's looking really good. So, all right, game 2.
Yeah. Gonna head into potentially the final game of the night. We're still on West, by the way. Is that on purpose?
I rotated it between these East and West with these two guys. One's on East, one's on West. I figure, I might as well do it, see what happens. Although I don't think it matters. If they're both in the US, it doesn't really affect it much.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I guess you could just go Central as well, or something like that. Not a big deal either way.
You're watching FSL Season 6.
All right. Spawning in the top left-hand side of Moondance, we have the green Protoss player. He is
Sir Maligan.
And his opponent in the red, the Terran player. He is
Hurt Time.
All right. A little bit of a late pylon there out of Maligan, but that's okay. So there goes the scout. Searching around. And yeah, that in-base 4-Rax was like one of the only draws I've ever had in my life. When I played, Skylar did that on the ladder, and we wound up drawing because I managed to kill his final Marine with like my remaining 2 Zerglings, but then he could just float buildings. So,
nice.
so it was like the only draw I ever got when I was in Grandmaster was against that stupid build. But I doubt we'll see that again tonight, at least. It's definitely got potential because it's very easy to just mistake it for a regular macro build, and then you get into your cycles and stuff. And especially as Zerg, you know, your only drones or only units for the most part. And so if you're in that only drones mode and then 15 Marines walk in and you've got your initial 4 Zerglings and a few Queens, you're like, oh, rip. There comes the scout from Hurt Time. So that base out at a crisp timing for both players. And the second pylon, just in time for Maligan as well, I think. Slightly late, but insignificantly so. And there comes the Adept. Reaper on the way out as well. And let's see what the tech building is going to be for Maligan, as it is a bit more of a normal game here. Last game it was, of course, that Twilight Council. Going to be a robotics facility this time around. And the Adept coming out at the perfect timing to deal with the Reaper. Oh. Might be a dead Reaper. I think he's just barely dead. No, I think that's
He
dead.
needs to put a bomb. No,
Ooh.
put a bomb.
Oh yeah,
Grenade.
doing the Reaper grenade thing to
That's
bounce the
hard.
Adept is so tough to do.
I've made it work before, but it's really hard. The only thing I have not made work is the Adept throwing a Widow Mine. That thing is so hard to time.
Yeah, that one you just kind of guess. Every now and then you'll get it right.
Yeah, I've
But
never gotten it right.
Really feels quite random. I think I've never gotten it in a live game. I don't think, but those like micro tournament custom maps and stuff where you have to do it like you run into it quite a bit. I've done it once or twice there. I think, but that's about it. As a very quick concussive shells out of Hurt in Time as well here. Interesting. Maligan able to perfectly spread his shots across all the SCVs.
That's a skill.
It's a skill.
Ooh, one more shot, they would have killed it.
Yep, could go back in and get both those SCVs maybe.
Attention.
I think he's busy.
Maligan and Hurt in Time aren't paying attention. Neither of them are paying attention. Free kill right here.
Yeah, they're both focused on the macro, I guess.
And he lets him in.
Yeah, Dusk Kid in gets the full scout. A little bit of an odd build out of Hurt in Time. It kind of feels like he's just sort of riffing a little bit with his build.
Yeah, it's like he's like, let me try something, and yeah, this is not when you play in the real game. This is not where you try something. You have to do something you planned or you practice. At least at this level, I think.
Yeah, it's very hard to just kind of pull off a experiment in this this tier of the tournament or the competition. But I mean, it's an okay build overall. He's still got the basics, the bio.
Well, he's got a much better start than the last game, right?
Yeah. I mean, anything's going to be better than that last game at least.
Yeah.
I think at this point he only had like 12 workers. So third base coming in for Maligan. A little surprised to see him take the pocket, considering it's only a half base, but should be okay. A little bit safer. Did see a lot of Marauders and
it's all
double
like
barracks. So
a scary amount of bio. That at least Marauders are scary.
yeah, for sure. Of course, the Observer is going to be able to keep an eye on everything, and we got quick disruptors. I kind of like that. I wonder if that's... I think that's probably the plan all along, but...
The
at the same time, you
disruptors?
see those three...
But
you see the
probably
three
for
quick
these
Marauders, it's like...
Because of Marauders, you're like, oh, Colossus is
Yep.
kind of weak.
Yeah. And Marauders are just so tough to micro against the Disruptors especially. Not that Marines are particularly easy, but... Oh, we'll get the...
oh, there
the
you
Observer.
go. Good move.
They're going to go out with a Mind Drop as well. I like that.
Love it.
It's funny because a lot of the Code S we see, I feel like with the younger players, is a lot of mechanics and not as much game knowledge, and it kind of feels reversed here, where there's a lot of the game knowledge has been built up over like 8 years of playing the game for both these players, but the mechanics aren't quite as strong as like some of the younger players. Like there with, he's going out for a Mind Drop, so he goes, let me see if there's an Observer, sees the Observer, snipes the Observer. That's just a thing that gets ingrained as a Terran player over time. That you might not see from some of the... Exactly, yes. You got the older players with more game knowledge and not quite as fast hands versus the fast-handed younger players. There comes in 3-7. Not bad. Not bad at all. Still has... I'm not sure why he's so hesitant to go and push these away. I mean, he's got more than enough Marauders to do so. Almost going to lose a factory for no particular reason. We'll be able to keep it alive though, so an okay situation. And Maligan will clean up those mines as well, so relatively even. Definitely an edge to Maligan. Got a much better army composition overall, I would say, as there's not really any medevacs out, no tanks, just some bio. I guess one medevac for the mine drop, but that's about
Yeah, he
it.
could have picked up the mines after they took off, but he was a little busy with these blink stalkers.
Yeah, I guess just busy. They did have the armory, so it's like maybe they don't have detection and they get another round off or something without having to look back, but unfortunately there was an observer out, so not going to come in that situation. +2 attack on the way for Hurtin Time, and going to get his third base, but definitely quite a bit behind that of Maligan's. I mean, his main base is already mining out, and he's got almost 60 SCVs, so you see 28 out of 16 on the natural there.
Yeah.
30 out of 16 mining on the natural.
Same amount of workers. That's not bad for Hurtin Time.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just don't have anywhere to actually mine.
Ooh, turret, auto turret harass.
Yeah, does get some harass. I don't think they actually killed any workers. Maybe like one.
Just one.
But,
yeah, because they had 8 total workers killed so far, so probably just one.
Okay, adding on a 4th base as well as the 3rd. I do like that for Hurtin Time, but it feels like it's a recovery move that is maybe coming a little bit too late, you know? I mean, at this point, I guess Maligan isn't on a 4th base either, just now starting it up, but I mean, he's had that 3rd base for so long. He's got the tech, the more advanced army. Although, he's only made only 2 disruptors. Could definitely have had like 4 or 5 disruptors out, or even added in a couple Colossi.
Yeah, but at least he's not floating 2,000 minerals. Hurtin Time is floating so much money. He could use sensor towers. That would be a huge thing for him, I think.
Yeah, starting to add in the production buildings here, going up to, what, 5 barracks?
Yeah, actually he had one on the right, not on the left, which is the blink spot. That's really where you need to worry about it. Oh,
yeah.
He's not paying attention. Gonna lose his medevacs. Which, unfortunately, I hate it that they lead that way, right? That's what happens to my Ravens, too. Watch this instructor shot. I better watch it.
Yeah, this could be big.
He F2'd the Raven, as I mentioned, the Raven.
Yep. Oh, and there's the big shot.
No repair on the bunker.
Now, did he lose? No, the other disruptor, I guess, is just not joining up with the army. Maligan not F2ing, to his detriment, almost. But, yeah, I mean, so much damage happening here. And both players have a lot of money behind this, but Maligan's just got such a better setup overall. It's going to be really hard here for Hurtin Time.
Pretty strong. It's looking like another strong win here for Maligan.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not a, it's a normal game, so to speak, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But more of a normal game, and I think Hurtin Time just a little bit rusty. You can really see that. Maligan playing it well, and yeah, you know, my hope still is for the Codes overall that Veils will kind of light a fire under like Neutrophil and Dark Menace and Instability, you know, to get them to start practicing more, because I feel like there's a lot of potential in a lot of these players that's not being realized yet. I don't see that, but GG's call, and Maligan's gonna take it too long. That is our final series of the night. So we'll drag in the players, talk to them really quick about how that went. As congratulations to Sir Maligan, who unfortunately it sounds like is still having microphone weirdness. So we'll start off with Hurtin Time then.
Just use your phone, Maligan. Just get on your phone, your iPhone, and just use that for Discord.
So, Hurtin Time. Game 1, it kind of felt like the 4 racks was a bit of like a reaction to the scout, like it wasn't initially planned. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I forgot to take the guys off gas, but still, my Marines just seem so weak versus his what do you call those units? The
Adepts.
Adepts, yeah. I mean, it was, and he got those shield batteries up, so it was a big mistake. I should have just expanded instead of trying to rush in. That was
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've seen that build once or twice at the top level as well. I don't think I've ever seen it win, but it always comes kind of close. And I think the big thing is you gotta wait for as long as possible, and then move out with like 20 Marines and like every SCV you've ever made. But game 2 went a little bit better. I think just the blink stalkers, and I think just a little bit of rustiness. I think we saw kind of like we saw in the 2v2. You know, not as warmed up in his practice as you have been in past, and against Protoss in particular, I feel like that can really show in big ways with big disruptor hits or losing medevacs and things like that. I think, yeah, like you lost like 3 medevacs as you were trying to move out because they just tend to move in front a little bit sometimes since they don't have to traverse the terrain. But good try overall. Game 2, do you really feel like there's anything in particular that stuck out as like what went wrong for you there?
No, not really. I got supply blocked. Mostly, I just wasn't ready for him getting into my base. You know, I didn't even notice. You know, I found myself looking at the wrong area of the map every time he was attacking me. So he did a really good job of hitting me, doing the left-right thing on me. So, yeah, he just played better than me. He's a better player than me right now.
You did a lot of damage with your mines though. It looked really good. I think you had the same amount of workers. So against Protoss, Terran, if you're the same amount of workers, Terran's ahead. So you actually look pretty decent. But like ET said, it all started to go downhill when you lost the medevacs, and then you had to F2. You lost the Raven, and then all kinds of stuff just started to fall apart after the blink.
Yeah.
But you look pretty decent there. I think so. Just small stuff here or there. In game 2 anyway, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I gotta work on my game. One of these days, so start doing that.
Yeah, and Maligan put a lot of time, by the way, so you feel good about it. He's put a lot of time in the last 2 weeks. He's gotten so much better. Because I do customs with him, right? And I'm like, oh, you're gonna kick some butt. If you played like this, you might be in contention for the playoffs. But a little too late, right, Maligan?
Yeah, I mean, just been playing every now and then just to get the rhythm, keep the rhythm going. Except
very nice.
Yeah, if I notice that if I don't play like a month, I'll be like back to dumb moves and making mistakes. So.
Yeah, it took a month off. It's killer.
Yeah. This game is not forgiving, man. The breaks and playing casually, right? It's just not. Yeah, you're looking good, Maligan. Nice macro and left right hits on me. It's really nice.
Yeah, I didn't see that the mine. I was like, hey, how come I lost a lot of probes on my main? Oh, there's a mine there.
Did they fire off more than once? I think you got them before they fired off the second time.
I think just once, yeah.
Yeah, they were just about to fire again, and he got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Could have been a big deal if they fired twice.
Yeah, I should have loaded them back up into the medevac, but he was hitting me at the same time down low, so it's just taxing my slow APMs.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
makes
guys,
sense.
ET, any further questions for these Codes players?
No, I think that's about it. Good games overall. Good luck to you guys throughout the rest of the season. Maligan, it's the comeback arc now. We hope, right? It's the start of the win streak.
Arc. The win streak. Too bad it's he's eliminated from the playoffs. But hey, at least he finally took his first win of the season.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some havoc, hopefully.
No, be a spoiler, playoff spoiler.
That's right.
How many
be a spoiler.
games do I still have? I think I have like 2 more games.
Yeah, you might as well spoil the last 2.
Let's see if we can.
Alright. Well,
nice.
Good seeing you guys. GG's.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Jay.
So let's wrap up the tonight's matches. What you thought of it? So let me show the. We had 5 matches tonight, ET.
Yeah, it was a lot. I definitely got back into the groove of things by the end of it. You know, had time to warm up. So not too bad. Now, I guess we started off with Little Reaper versus Gray. Unfortunately, I did miss most of that, but it was a 2-0 for Gray over Little Reaper. Took some heavy damage to DTs, I believe, in the first game, but managed to bring it back. And then, of course, rolled right over into Noka versus Valhurt. Noka narrowly falling 0-2. I think had a good shot at taking one of those games at least, but not quite able to pull it out. And then Fenrir versus Mrs. Uber XL. We had Fenrir win 2-0. Once again, I believe the same result as last season. Definitely a big improvement on both of those players over the last year or so. So big props to them. Keep it up. And then the final 2v2 of the night was Noka versus Polaris. Polaris winning that one 2-0, continuing to look pretty dominant in the 2v2 scene thus far. Although their most strong opponents, I think, are still awaiting them. And then closing it out there with Hurt in Time versus Sir Maligan. Sir Maligan does win 2-0, looking very strong. Obviously, a lot more practiced over the recent time than Hurt in Time was. And it doesn't take long for Rust to develop when it comes to StarCraft.
Yeah.
Just a couple weeks of not practicing makes a big, big difference on your play. Yeah. So, well done by Sir Maligan. And I guess fully eliminated from the playoffs. Is there not a chance? He's got 3 more matches, right? So he could go 4-4. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's Liquipedia. We'll have to check, but let's look at the schedule real quick while I load up the Liquipedia as well. So
yeah, it would take one heck of a bout of luck, I'd say, but I think maybe it's still possible. But anyways, yeah. Wednesday of next week, we have a 2v2 between Noka and Cyan Kitty. Noka just playing a lot of matches in the today and the coming days. Cyan and Kitty Cat Gamer going up against them, so it'll be interesting to see indeed. And then in the Code A, we've got Mighty Ant versus Deepu and Gray versus Stu Blue. Mighty Ant versus Deepu was a pretty exciting match last season. I remember Mighty Ant had some excellent mind games with the fake proxy barracks and actual proxy barracks and things like that. And Gray versus Stu Blue will be interesting to see as well. Gray, I don't think has ever played Stu Blue before, so it'll be a little bit hard to predict. But I'd say probably edge to Gray there, but we'll have to see what happens at that time. As,
and
we'll close it out.
Man. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we'll close it out with DLS Mazel versus Veils in the code.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting indeed. I mean, Mazel did manage to beat Malagant earlier in the season, which is a pretty tough opponent, so he's looking fairly solid, but obviously Veils, I think, undefeated, question mark, I think.
Yeah, Veils is undefeated.
So Veil's obviously looking very strong, even already beating Neutrophil, which is a rare thing to see indeed. 2-0, I believe, as well, which is not exactly something you see every day. So Veils will look strong there, but obviously Mazel still has a chance. But you were going to say about the Gray Stu Blue match, I believe?
Well, I was going to say something about tonight's matches. They're all 2-0s.
Oh.
Have we ever had... I don't think we've ever seen that.
If we have, it's been a while. Yeah, not something you see very commonly. It's definitely a very close tournament in a lot of ways. We have pretty tight MMR bracketing, so it's usually going to be at least some games will be close.
Yeah, and then the thing that we can check too is you were curious about the. Let's look at Liquipedia. I think it's much more updated. And Sir Maligan is 0-5 there, so he's going to go to 1-5. So I think what you're the spreadsheet was not updated, so.
Yeah, it still says he's 0-4. So, yep, that would be unrecoverable then, I think.
Yeah,
but could go 3-5 and
our top 5 here is setting up. Mizel has a chance.
Yeah.
But look how competitive this is, man. Look at that.
Yeah, it's very, very competitive indeed. It'll be interesting to see like how the because I don't think we've had Dark Menace or Instability play Veils yet, so we'll see how they stack up. You know.
That's the true test because Veils passed the test. He beat Neutrophil. Now the next test, right? Dark Menace, who's really good against Terran, and then Instability, I think she's pretty good against Terran usually, but you know she did lose to Ghost Champ because she hadn't been practicing.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to get that practice in for folks. busy lives, you know, especially during the holiday season. So we'll see if she gets some more games in the coming days and looks a little more sharp. But still in a recoverable spot, absolutely. I think it's, what, 3-1 right now she's sitting at, so...
Yeah, she's 3-1. Pretty good.
Absolutely recoverable.
Yep. And then Code A, Cyan leading the league. Deepu, Noob Lord, The Archaic. Stu Blue had a nice improvement arc there. And then Little Reaper, just disappointing season for him. He's a lot better than that record, but he just hasn't shown up during the real games. And Gray is 2-0 after today. He's got a lot of games afterwards, so...
Yeah, a lot to prove, but I think he's already shown himself to be quite strong in the Code A. You know, a pretty good chance to make it out of the playoffs, or into the playoffs, I should say, and maybe even win the whole thing with the Code A. We'll have to see, but definitely a tight setup we've got going into
Code B. Well, there's 3 of them that's gonna advance to the playoffs, and Fenrir, I think, just took over that 3rd spot for Miss Uber XL due to his win. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think Chien Pone, is looking strong in there.
Looking strong, yeah.
Yep.
Pretty good games for him. And then lastly, the 2v2. Instability, Caliber, Polaris, we saw them win. They're still undefeated. Miguel and Neutrophil at 3-1. Vale's Hurt in Time are still undefeated, so they're 3-0 versus the 4-0 of Instability, Caliber. Mizell, Stu Blue 2-1. Hyper Turtle Bunnies a little off. There's only so I think everyone's still alive according to this thing. Is that right?
Yeah, it's saying nobody's technically out yet. Chien Pone and Fenrir could technically win their next 4 matches and be 4-4 and scrape it out. So it's always possible. Although actually, I think it's wrong because Cyan and Kitty Cat Gamer are in there twice, right?
Oh yeah. There's
actually only 3 more matches for Chien Pone and Fenrir, not 4. So they would be eliminated at this point.
Yep. Officially last place. But yeah, that'll be it. So those were the matchups. ET, it's great having you back. Casting for
glad
us.
to be back.
We'll see you guys on the next one. We'll see you on the next cast of yours.
Yep. See y'all then.
Have a good day. Good evening, everybody.
Sarah, what have you done?
Kerrigan, the die is cast. This is the last day. Your swarm darkens the sky of any planet.
Forget Minsk. Forget all of it.
When we are done here, I will return to my people and accept their judgment.
Command, we've found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base.
I made my peace long ago.
Consider it done. For ire. Indeed.
Alex, I just heard that, I think it's your dad, right? Yes. Yeah, you just mentioned that apparently you like watching my videos. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Instability, Stu Blue, and Neutrophil. Good luck in the FSL. Protoss Power.
Hello, Meadow. Thank you for being my fan. I hope you can keep cheer for me and have a nice day with StarCraft.
for you, Meadow.
Hello, Meta. Keep playing StarCraft 2. Hope you enjoy the game.
Hey, Dark man, keep playing Turk. It's fun and hopefully you'll get some good results. I'm cheering for you.
The last couple minutes really since the Spark matchup actually does come in with Mutalisk, but as a
the
Protoss
Voids!
player, didn't quite understand that that's not how that works. Void Rays do come in, they got a good high ground position, but this is a big army out of the blue team here, pushing in. Psystorm drops on mostly buildings, but still nice to have. And man, a big aggressive swell. Beautiful to see here. A nuke does start.
Oh my god.
If
Oh
that
my
nuke
god.
lands, it could
You gotta
change
bait
the
it.
whole direction of this game, and it's coming close.
Oh my god.
Just a couple
No.
moments, and here it comes. The
could happen.
nuke
The nuke
will
goes
land.
The blink at the last second was incredible there too, but still a lot of units went down. Like the bio got erased. Holy crap! This might actually be holdable just off of that nuke.
Yeah, that was so much damage coming down. Gonna try again. Of course, there's not very many units besides Ghosts, so if the
True.
nukes don't land, there's not a whole lot to be done.
But
Definitely
Instability
a nice
has quite
look
a
out of
few
the way.
units here, right at the top. They've been waiting at the top of the ramp, and honestly,
Another
these
big
tanks are
nuke gonna
scary.
land.
Whoa!
Once again.
I can't right now, ET. That was amazing.
That
what
was
the defense of a century.
That was incredible out of neutrophil there. Those nukes coming in clutch. However, Instability could just spend that 2,000 minerals she's got. They might have an army to hold, but at this point, they still don't have very many units. So unless the enemy continually walks into nukes for the next 10 minutes, it's still looking pretty good for Team Blue here, who has killed all the outside bases of the red team.
Yeah, right. Those DTs were putting in a lot of work during all of that too. Definitely been super active. I did see the DT Blink researched, so they have a lot more mobility as well. But yeah, the nuke's definitely the MVP in allowing, you know, Team ET to actually stay up in this one.
Yeah, you know, proud of my boys for sure. DTs will blink on out of there. Oh, but another nuke is coming in now as soon as he started defending. That's very good out of Neutrophil. Looks like he's just going to nuke all day, every day is really his plan here. As, oh, and it looks like it may be a big one here as Dark Menace across the map. Micro those DTs.
Oh my lord. These nukes are on fire right now, and I would love to see how many workers have died after all of that. Like, oh, across the board as well, so that's pretty insane.
Goodness gracious. Almost 100 workers, almost